Well, good morning. So what do you think you got? Did you do any measurement in terms of how much snow?
I did not.
I would say...
I'll tell you what. So, you know where the vehicle, you open the car door, and it looks like you went over the top of the snow with a broom?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, it was like that when I...
But you have a smaller, lower profile vehicle.
I have a lower vehicle, I do. So I thought by 8:30 last night we had probably gotten, if I'm going to ballpark it, 8 inches.
Yeah. I think we're somewhere between that 8 and 12 inches, at least down in the valleys, in the valley area. I don't know what they did in Herkimer County. I know the winter storm warning seems to be still in effect in Herkimer County, probably northern.
Yes.
I don't think it is here in Oneida County. I think they've lifted it here.
I believe that is correct.
And
yes.
maybe another inch of snow today, they're saying. And I think this was kind of spread out as a long-term event as opposed to something coming down. You know, we had that storm 7 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever it was. And at one point, we were getting like 5-6 inches an hour. And we got almost 3 feet of snow, and you had roofs collapsing and all of that. This was not like that.
No, it was a
slow,
light,
fine snow.
Yes.
Blew around a little bit. The plows had a chance to keep track. I think the roads are in pretty good shape this morning. Obviously, if your driveways, your side streets are probably not all that great. But at least on my trip in, everything was plowed for me anyway, coming in this morning. So
I thought, as a matter of fact, after I took care of the driveway, I ran out and grabbed a quick little snack, if you will. And I thought Commercial Drive was in rough shape, and I didn't think it was great this morning either. My car was fishtailing every turn.
Well, what is interesting about this snow is all the way in for me, I was getting, it was almost like it was freezing rain. It was freezing on the windshield all the way in because it's such a fine snow.
It was very fine.
And I think that can be very slippery on the road, so be aware of that.
Like brandy, it was a fine snow.
Fine snow, like brandy. But I do believe that if this was just a regular snow that we had, schools would not have been closed. Everybody seemed to close yesterday.
Yes.
So here we are, except for the town of Webb. And I think to the north, they really didn't get as much as we've gotten in this, but really the entire state has been hit with snow. Southern tier probably got more. Again, I'm saying for us here, probably about 10 inches, 11 inches of snow, depending on where you are. Davey, about the same for you, would you say? 10, 11 inches when it's all said and done?
Yeah, about 10, 11 inches.
And the other part that I think is it's a light snow, so if you have to drive through it, like the plow forms a bank at the end of your driveway, it's kind of easy to drive through.
Yes.
Which helps.
Yes.
As opposed to ripping the undercarriage of your vehicle off.
I had a pretty significant wall built up there because they must have come by. I think the plows came by twice since I was out last night.
As my wife would say, well, why didn't you shovel it? Well, I'm just waiting for the plow guy to come. So there you go. We have a lot to get to.
So one more thing on that.
Yes.
When I was using the snowblower, because it was windy and it's very fine, it was one of those things. It reminded me of what they say about vacuums. It just picks it up and moves it to another spot.
Yeah, or if the wind blows right, it's going to blow it right into your face.
Yeah, so there were gusts between my house and the neighbor's house. So one part of the driveway, it's all blowing toward his side, his yard. And then as I get toward the front, I'm trying to shoot it to my front yard so it's not going in his driveway. And as soon as it goes up in the air, it just casting across the driveway into everybody's yard. So
we have all the school closings and I think one delay. Everything is available up on our website at WIBX950.com. We'll redo that coming up in a little bit. Tanya J. Powers on the storm, how it's hit the rest of the country in New York City. We'll speak with her coming up in a few. Ray Stagik from the Weather Channel will be on in the 8 o'clock hour. We'll get to him. We'll talk to Sheriff Mashel, Mark Williams, Chief of Utica PD. We'll get an update there. And, of course, there are snow emergencies pretty much everywhere, including the city of Rome and the city of Utica. So just beware out there with all of that. Over the weekend, you probably saw a little football. Man, it's almost like God stepped in and said, let's bring in the snow and make this difficult where anybody could win this game. And the Patriots end up beating Denver, and they're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, having the backup quarterback in, I know Stidham.
Yeah, I thought he did a really good job until it snowed. He did not look good.
Well, neither
in the
team
snow.
could move the ball. There was 3 points scored in the second half there.
Well, that almost they almost tied it up. That field goal got tipped by Denver. Otherwise, I don't know if anybody would have scored. They would have to keep playing in overtime. I'm sure you've seen all of the video of the latest in Minneapolis, where the intensive care nurse, who is a nurse at the VA center there in Minneapolis, was out videotaping again. This was another shooting that did not have to happen. I realized I watched the guy from ICE and or Homeland Security, whatever he's from. I watched him give his interviews. I watched all the interviews yesterday. And once again, we're being told what you're seeing on video is not what you're seeing. He was interfering, and really what he was doing is ICE sprayed a woman with pepper spray. He tried to pick the woman up. They pushed him. He tried to remain where he was able to do it, and then they all came in and got on top of him. He was carrying a gun. There's zero evidence that he ever reached for that gun. He was a concealed carry, legally carrying the gun, which this is kind of interesting because you have the NRA coming out against what the government is saying, against what ICE is saying. Because ICE is saying you don't bring a gun to a protest, and the NRA is out with a pretty bold statement saying he has a Second Amendment right to bring that gun wherever. He has a concealed carry permit, and ICE is pushing back, saying we wouldn't bring it to a protest, and quickly they came out to say that he came to shoot up ICE agents, which is. There's zero evidence to show that. This is another bad situation in Minneapolis. They really need to figure out a way to de-escalate that situation there, because this is the second, what I believe looks like an execution yesterday. They shot him like 8 times. It just was. And the video, if you really slow down the video and you watch, it looks like an ICE agent pulled the gun out of his holster and had the gun in his hand and walked away as the guy, unarmed, is being shot and killed. Not good. Really, really bad.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was under the impression that he didn't even have the gun on him when he was shot.
Not when he was shot. This is very interesting because now this opens up that Second Amendment right. First of all, what was he doing here? The head of... I forget his name, what his position is, but the head of ICE or whatever. What was he doing here? He was an agitator. Well, he was videotaping. He had a cell phone in his hand, which, by the way, is a First Amendment right. You have basically a battle going on, an invasion by ICE in Minneapolis right now with 3,000 ICE agents in the city, and there are people out that are documenting it. First Amendment right. And for him... This is something we fight about all the time. Why did he have a gun? Well, it doesn't matter. He had a Second Amendment right to have it. He never grabbed the gun. They said he brandished a gun. He never brandished the gun. It was in his holster. and
So I think
and it was taken out by what looks like taken out by an ICE agent.
I'm going to be interested to see
which is it.
what some in the audience how they react to that today, what their take is on this. But can I just say, you can be for ICE and you can be for the deportation of illegal immigrants and what's going on in Minneapolis, and still look at this and say they should not be handling situations this way. Again, this was
Your
a
local
guy.
police department wouldn't handle it this
No,
way.
and I think they need much better training, to be honest with you.
No, they're trained perfectly fine. That's
No,
what we were
you
told.
You made the point about them not being cops per se. They are law enforcement, but they are not police officers.
Incentivized
They
with a
need that level of
$50,000 signing bonus. They look like, I'm sorry, they look like the Gestapo out there. This is inexcusable, un-American. It makes us look like a third world country. And people, well, they shouldn't be out there protesting. Says who?
Yeah, that's your opinion.
Says
They
who?
have a right to be out there.
Their city is being basically their neighborhoods. Their people go. They're going to schools. They're going into homes and pulling people out. They don't need a search warrant anymore. And if this was happening in your neighborhood, would you just sit there and watch it? Or do you or someone in your family or someone you know, would they be out protesting? If it was happening in your neighborhood, you probably wouldn't just be sitting there taking it. And I know plenty of people that would have gone to that event to protect themselves, that if they had a concealed permit, that they would be carrying a gun, certainly here in upstate New York. I just can't believe that we as a country are sitting here watching this happen, and it just is horrific. Let me go to Tanya J. Powers, Fox News Radio. Tanya, also somewhat horrific, although we didn't get it nearly as badly as what was forecast. Probably got about a foot of snow here, but a foot of snow in New York City can be pretty damaging.
Yeah, it definitely had came down, pretty quickly. It's not normal that I look at my, watch or my phone or whatever for the weather update and it says heavy snow just for hours and hours.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've seen this much snow here in New York City, but all in all, I think people seem to be handling it pretty well. The plows, the mayor actually had told us ahead of time, here is exactly what we're going to see. Here is what we're going to do when it starts. Here's what we're going to do when it gets to be 2 inches on the ground. Here's what we're going to do. Like, he laid it all out on Friday. He held a press conference and had said, these are the steps we're taking. This is when this is going to go into action. This is when you're going to see this many trucks on the streets with plows. And he was not kidding. There's an interactive, map, basically, that you can look at, and it says in real time, it gives you green and blue on the roads. You see the grid of the roads, and it's got green or blue, and the green shows if it's been plowed in the last 2 hours. The blue showed a little bit longer time, I think. But you could actually look at this in real time and see in your neighborhood, okay, how bad are the roads? When were they plowed?
Yeah.
You can look at this and see, like, it was way better than I have, in the past. You just kind of had to, well, I hope I see a truck plowing at some point. I was out yesterday, saw at least 2 or 3 just in the 30 minutes. I was kind of like looking or going around and kind of seeing how the conditions were and whatnot. I mean, I think that the city did a really good job of explaining what was going to happen and then carrying that out.
Yeah. It is interesting, the technology that they now have in order to pull all of this off. I mean, it's incredible. We were speaking with the Department of Transportation, New York State Department of Transportation. Mm-hmm. Apparently, their state plows, they have not only cameras all over the place on the plows, but they have heat sensors where they're able to tell what the temperature is on the ground, outdoors, and on the ground, on the pavement, to determine whether they should be salting or not. I mean, that's pretty amazing technology.
That really is.
Yeah.
I mean, that would come in extremely handy, in especially in a huge storm like this.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got at least a foot of snow in more than like dozens of states at this point. It is a lot. I think 17 states from New Mexico to New Hampshire got snow. more than a foot of accumulation in some of those areas. You've got, hundreds of thousands of power outages, down south and in my home state of Mississippi. They've gotten hammered.
Mm-hmm.
My hometown electric, utility folks have said that they had catastrophic damage and that it will be weeks before they get, power back up and running.
I think
around everybody.
We think about what happened to this storm here. For us, it's just another winter storm upstate, but how it does affect the city differently, New York City, but then in the South, how it completely has caused just extensive damage because they're not prepared for weather like this.
Well, it's also, and this is the thing that I always kind of hammer whenever there is a storm like this, it's ice there.
Yeah.
That's what they're dealing with. They're dealing with 1.5 inches of ice on everything. And when you, especially in some parts of the state, in northern Mississippi, there's trees everywhere.
Yep.
The same deal in Tennessee. But once you get, those trees are that heavy, they're gonna break, and they're gonna take the power lines down with it. And a friend of mine said they lost power at 1 a.m. on Sunday morning, and they won't get it back. They don't know when they'll get it back.
Yeah.
But they were sitting in their house. It was deadly quiet, and you could just hear something. It just sounded like gunshots with
Trees.
the tree limbs falling because they'd gotten so heavy, and they just were hoping that, one of them wasn't going to end up on their house.
Pretty wild, and I think what makes this storm so unique is that it just stretched such a large across the entire country.
Yeah.
40 states were under winter storm alerts, so pretty wild that is. So, all right, we appreciate the update, Tanya. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. Sure, thank you.
Tanya J. Powers from Fox News Radio Manasseh with an update here this morning, and we have, this is one of those days where most of the schools closed yesterday. A lot of them closed yesterday, and we have an update for you here right now at 6:38.
Bill, you did mention that most were closed yesterday. Do you want the rundown, the list?
I do, and I have somebody here. This is Barry saying we're getting what seems to be like freezing ice in Cooperstown. And Barry, I got to tell you, I felt like it looks like snow, but once it hits your windshield, it's kind of like a little freezing ice, which is kind of odd considering it's what out right now? 14 degrees. So we can do some, it's at least some of the delays, snow emergencies. You can imagine it's a long list.
Yes, here is the list of local closures as far as schools go. These are all closed. There is one delay, but the following are all closed: Adirondack, Brookfield, Camden, Central Valley, Clinton, Colgate, Dolgeville, Edmiston, Frankfort Schuyler, Hamilton, Herkimer, Herkimer-Boces, Herkimer College, Holland Patton, Little Falls, Madison, Oneida Boces, Mohawk Valley Christian Academy, Morrisville Eaton, Mount Markham, MVCC in Utica and the Rome campus, New Hartford, Notre Dame, Oppenheim, Euphrates, St. Johnsville, Oneida, Herkimer, Madison, Boces, Oriskany, Owen D. Young, all closed today. Poland, Remsen, Richfield Springs, Rome, Sequoia Valley, Sherburne, Earlville, St. Francis de Sales, and Stockbridge Valley all closed today. Remote learning for SUNY Morrisville, SUNY Oneonta, SUNY Poly, Utica City Schools closed today, along with VVS, Waterville, West Canada Valley, Westmoreland, and Whitesboro all closed. Town of Webb schools are on a 2-hour delay. You can find that complete list on our website at WIBX950.com. America's power grid being put to the test today by the deadly winter storm across most of the country. More than 1 million customers were without electricity on Sunday, sending people scrambling to keep warm amid sub-freezing temperatures in places that rarely see such cold weather. Ice and freezing rain are the main concerns today for utility companies, as frozen trees and power lines could topple under the added weight. The country could be facing another government shutdown after the killing of an ICU nurse by a federal immigration agent in Minneapolis this weekend. Now, the man was fatally shot by a Border Patrol officer on Saturday, the second fatal shooting in Minneapolis by federal officers this month, sparking widespread protest. Now, some Democratic senators say they won't be voting for the $1.2 trillion funding package this week if it includes money for the Department of Homeland Security, which oversees immigration enforcement. The FAA and NTSB are investigating a plane crash at a Maine airport on Sunday evening. The small jet, registered to an LLC out of Houston, crashed while taking off from Bangor International Airport. 8 people were believed to be on board, but the number and extent of injuries is still not known. Super Bowl 60 will feature the Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks taking the field in Santa Clara, California on February 8th. The Pats outlasted the Broncos 10-7, and in the NFC, the Seahawks slid past the Rams 31-27. Tax season is officially here. The IRS will begin accepting tax returns today. Federal returns for 2025 will need to be filed by April 15th in order to avoid penalties and interest. Most taxpayers will also be expected to pay their taxes by that date. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time is coming up on 6:43. Here's a look at your Weather Center forecast.
Any winter storm warnings, at least for the synoptic snow in the North Country, coming to an end. The lake snow is going to get going again this week, and already lake effect snow warnings. Not include Oneida County yet, but that could change. Another couple of feet in the more favored snowbelt areas coming in starting tomorrow, right through maybe Thursday. We'll still see some snow showers. Blowing snow this morning could reduce visibilities. Not looking for much in the way of additional accumulation, if any. Near 20 today, single digits tonight puts the North Country below zero. Some snow showers. Scattered snow showers tomorrow, 15. More snow showers Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic at the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Cloudy skies and 14 degrees. And Bill, the winter weather warning that was in effect, or winter weather advisory, is no longer in place in Utica and Rome, but it does still exist in Herkimer County.
That tailgate party that was scheduled yesterday at Waterfront Grill has been moved. It is now, instead of a conference championship tailgate party, it is now a Super Bowl tailgate party. So it'll be held Super Bowl Sunday, and a lot of people will benefit, including Real Men Get Tested, the Herkimer County Humane Society, Little Falls Hospital, and the American Heart Association. Stephen was going to be there. He was all excited, and nothing. There was no event yesterday. He's on the line right now. How's the weather where you are, Stephen?
It's pretty snowy like everywhere else where the snow is. And now Saturday, Syracuse basketball looked terrible. And I think Adrian Autry should be on the hot seat. And my friend Joe says bring back Jerry McNamara to be the head coach.
Davey, you're shaking your head. I kind of would think that might not be a terrible idea. How's he doing out in Albany?
Siena? He's got a better record than Syracuse does.
Yeah, he does. So maybe that wouldn't be such a bad idea. So, all right, Stefan, I think he's in trouble. And I didn't think he was. They got off to such a really good start. You know, losing a couple of games close to some really good teams, but then they looked really good. And this has been awful. And, all of this while Carmelo Anthony sits there courtside, he's got to be thinking, what is going on?
They're 14-7, 7-3, Siena.
Okay. All right. Okay, Stefan, be safe out there, all right?
And for Super Bowl, I'm going to root for the Seahawks now.
Yeah, I absolutely am with you 1,000%. I just do not want to. How about the fact that they're talking about Belichick? There are a lot of experts out there saying Belichick for Buffalo.
Rex
and
Ryan's
how about
100%
that?
Putting it full
Rex
board.
Ryan is all over it. How about that horrible press conference? Did you hear any of it?
The Bills?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Were you not?
I was not. I didn't. I guess the press conference was Wednesday at 10, and I wasn't here Thursday, Friday, so I listened to it on the way out Thursday, on the way out to Buffalo, and listened. You know, when you have something good to listen to, whether it's a podcast or you listen to the radio or something like that, it does make the time fly a little quicker.
Yeah.
That was a clown show.
That was,
Wednesday.
I could see where they were trying to go, but, he's Terry Pegula just stepped in it, and boy, I thought it was. And you know what? To admit, I had no plans to get rid of McDermott, but I just looked in that locker room and I saw everybody so dejected, and I said, "That's it. I'm firing McDermott."
I said to Smitty, I don't know, what did he expect? A festival atmosphere? Popcorn, peanuts, peanuts, step right up, take your shot.
Yeah.
You pop the balloon. Like, what did he expect he was going to find in there? And he's almost sounded offended that, I believe he said Josh Allen was crying in his locker, and I said something to him, and he didn't acknowledge me. And then I said something else to him, and he didn't acknowledge me again. Tuck your pride, buddy.
Yeah.
He was upset with his performance.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you have a professional athlete, a grown man in his locker crying.
Here's the other thing I had a problem with is
I'm sorry.
When Pegula was asked what did Josh Allen think of the firing, his answer was, "Well, I'm not going there.
Yeah,
that's
it's personal.
That's
We'll keep
personal.
it between us."
We're keeping that between us." So you're making it seem like Josh Allen was like, "Yeah, McDermott's got to go." I mean, that's how I interpreted it.
I see. I took it the other way.
interpreted it that there's something there. That's how I. That's what I
took
thought.
it as something there, in that he wasn't on board with it. That he
but he left it was ambiguous, so you left it open. Someone like me.
Well, it is private.
It is private.
So I guess we'll have to guess.
I mean, his answer should have been, "Listen, Josh loved Sean, but I'm not going to answer for Josh Allen, and this had nothing to do with him, so it doesn't really matter," and walk away from it. Instead, he just left it out there. There's a reason why he hasn't been talking to the media, and he should go back to it that way.
I will say the one part of this that it does make sense to me, and I get it, is when he ran down the seating. He said 6-5-3-2-2-2 or 6-2-3-5-2-2-2. 7 years, in 4 of those they were a 2 seed. You got to get over the hump at some point, and you're limited as to what you can change. So is it the coach or the quarterback? I think you saw this a little bit in Baltimore.
Is it the quarterback, or is it the guy that's supposed to make the lineup solid? Brandon Bean.
Right. Coach, quarterback, or GM. And I think you saw this in Baltimore, where it's, right. He's absolutely changed the culture there. They are a winning franchise, again, 7 years in a row in the playoffs. But how many times are you going to be the 2 seed and never win the conference?
2 things that I would say. First of all, they should never have been in that position. They should have been up by 2 touchdowns. Josh Allen did not play well all season long. If I'm Pegula, the one thing I would have said was the thing that number one was the seedings and the fact that he can't seem to close the door. He can't get there. That's number one. Number 2, the fact that every game this season, this team was not prepared in the first half. That would have been a great excuse, right? I mean, he could have said, I've been contemplating this all season long when we're down 20-0 in the first half. I mean, you got to have this team ready to go, and they have not been.
Yeah.
Now, they're all pros, right? They should be ready to go without a coach rallying them up in the NFL.
However, give me an inspirational speech.
However, if he's looking for
making $14 million
if he's looking for an excuse, he never even used that. He never even ran with that.
Yeah.
And now you're getting rid of your coach on a game where you're completely acknowledging the fact that the refs blew the call. Now, whether you agree with that or not, that's the Buffalo stance, that call, that was a catch. So now you're saying on a blown call and some real change in their strategy, the referee team's strategy and how they're calling penalties once you got to the end of the game in an overtime, and you're blaming the refs, and now you're firing your coach. A lot of that did not make sense.
The other thing was, it was brought up that because the Buffalo Bills are getting so much money to build the stadium, it's $850 million, something like that, from the state of New York. That's
$1 billion. I mean, the whole project is big.
850 that's
almost
state money,
and most of it is coming from. That's something that Scott was talking about the other day, that they had to spend so much money, and I was talking about Micron, where the Onondaga County has spent so much money. They're doing prep work, and they're offering tax incentives. The rest of that money is coming from the state and the federal government. But you're right.
It's
I'm
a 600
confusing
here from the state, 250 from Erie County.
Yeah.
So the way the question was posed was with that, and it's a $2.1 billion new stadium. With that $850 million, Terry Pegula isn't seen often in front of a microphone answering questions. Shouldn't he be more so because of that funding there?
Well, he's claiming with his wife so sick, that's why he's been absent.
Well, I just, aside from that, I don't think you want the Bills owner to be like Jerry Jones. Every time they have a bad loss, he's out there talking.
Yeah.
Every time they have a good loss, he comes out and he says, "This is the one. This is my talented roster." Let the coach handle that. I thought McDermott was good with that. They were good at staying under the radar. They didn't put too much billboard material out there to look, we're going to win the division. Stuff that you don't want to say to hype up another team. So I don't think he needs to be out there more.
The other difficult part of this whole thing is that first of all, you do this press conference, and now there are coaches saying, I'm not sure I want to go to Buffalo after watching that. But the pickings aren't all that great right now. So who do you get? You have no plan whatsoever, and you're a team that's on the bubble next year to go to the Super Bowl, and you don't have a coach right now. That's not a good position to be in.
And the reports that maybe Belichick, that would shock me. It would stun me.
I don't think
Belichick went to Buffalo.
He has not been interviewed. And I'm not sure they've even had a conversation. That just seems to be the pundits doing all the talking.
Well, don't forget, Rex Ryan's a fool.
Here's the shocker of the interviews that they took over on Friday, Jeff. They interviewed Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
And everybody's saying that he scored big points with Brandon Beane, Pegula, and Josh Allen because him and Josh Allen are close. But there's also a dark horse. The quarterback's coach for the Broncos, Davis Webb, is also going to be interviewed probably either today or tomorrow. And they're saying that he has an influence on Josh Allen, too, because Davis Webb was a backup for the Bills a couple years ago, and they had a good relationship.
How about, though, I think the other favorite has got to be Joe Brady.
And Brian Daboll.
Yeah, and Daboll. But there are those saying Daboll is the wrong choice. Everybody's got an opinion.
Yeah.
You know what? If the coach comes in, they lose again next year, then everybody's going to be like, told you this was a bad move. A new coach comes in and they win next year, it was brilliant. It's just the way it works.
I say Joe Brady because he knows the system.
I think I wouldn't be a bit surprised because otherwise he's going. He's going. So either way, the Bills are going to have to get an offensive coordinator.
Well, he was a candidate for the Baltimore Ravens job.
Yeah. Well, he's been interviewed by 3 or 4 teams, I think.
And there's a report out there today that Sean McDermott might take a year off and wait until next year.
Okay. Stephen, thanks, man. Have a great day. You got us all going here.
And maybe in a
I
year
didn't even
or
know he was
two,
still on the phone.
maybe Mike Tomlin might be a candidate.
That's possible. Yeah. Yep. I thought he might even be a candidate this year, but he says he wants to take a year off. So.
Yeah, but whoever hires Tomlin this year in any open jobs has to pay compensation to the Steelers for a draft pick, and he's still under contract with them for 2 more years.
Yeah, okay. All right, good stuff there, Stefan. Have a great day.
Take care.
All right. Let me break and come back here, and we'll head towards the 7 o'clock hour. We'll speak next hour with Mark Williams, chief of the UPD, and speak with him about how the streets are and all of that. I think everybody's done a pretty darn good job. It's going to be slick out there. But for the most part, I think the plows are out there and doing what they got to do. Quick break at WIBX.
The President's Day sale is on at Mattress Express. Save up to $1,350 on New York State's largest selection from New York State's largest specialty bedding retailer. Go to mattressexpressny.com.
Surprise! Your expenses this month were way higher than you expected. Also, you forgot to renew your website domain, and now you're in a bidding war.
You should see the look on your face.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room, and now everything smells weird.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
At Mohawk Valley Health System, nursing is more than a career. It's a calling.
I just love the family environment. Everyone's so helpful, so encouraging. Everyone here is amazing.
Whether you're starting your journey or ready to grow, MVHS offers competitive pay, career development, and a place to belong.
Everybody wants you to succeed, and I feel like the patients and families also feel that as well. My team helps me grow here.
Mohawk Valley Health System. Change lives, starting with yours. At Mohawk Valley Health System, we're investing in nurses like never before.
Working at the WIN Hospital in the OR has given me the opportunity to not only enhance my critical thinking skills, but also my autonomy.
With competitive new rates, career development programs, and a culture built on support.
I love the team that I work with on the 7th floor.
Here at the WIN Hospital, I'm not just part of a team, I'm part of a family.
You'll grow your nursing career with great pay, a supportive team, and real opportunities.
Here at the WIN Hospital, I can find my niche and grow.
Change lives, starting with yours.
Hurt in a car? Call William Mattar. 315-444-4444.
Something old is new in the village of New Hartford. Introducing Handshake Antiques, now open at 66 Genesee Street, next to Giorgio's Village Cafe. Not your grandma's antique shop. Think clean, curated, and cool. From high-end furniture, vintage fashion, vinyl records, to oddities and all things eclectic. And we're always buying, so look in your attic or basement. And if it's old, call Handshake Antiques. Plus, inventory changes weekly, so every visit is a new find. Handshake Antiques, where it never went out of style.
Hey, I got you something.
What's this?
Just a little Galentine's gift from Jewelry Television.
JTV, I love their jewelry. I had my eye on this pearl bracelet on JTV.com. Plus, I love their colored gemstone jewelry. And oh, have you seen their gold?
Right now, take up to 70% off select jewelry and gifts at JTV.com.
You are not going to believe their gemstones and their artisan collections. Gorgeous.
Are you going to open your gift?
It's the pearl bracelet.
Visit JTV.com.
Is your business the best at what you do? Then you should be a Central New York's Industry Ace. Our Industry Aces are made up of the best businesses in the region, and we'll help you tell your story to thousands of consumers in the Mohawk Valley. With a combination of on-air and online testimonial commercials, along with targeted social media ads that are guaranteed to reach the consumers you want to be talking to. And best of all, these messages are coming directly from you. Interested in learning more? Contact Megan Powers at 315-768-9500.
The President's Day sale is on at Mattress Express. Save up to $1,350.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 Utica.
From the WB Tain Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
It's still stormy in the Northeast. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island. We can expect another up to 4 inches of snow to fall.
Fox's Brian Yennis is in Boston, where they got 16 inches so far.
There are now 13 states with at least a foot of snow on the ground from this storm, from New Mexico and Colorado through Illinois and Ohio, New York, and Pennsylvania.
The snow and thick ice in many areas has left more than 800,000 homes and businesses without power this morning, a lot of them around Nashville. Scott Brooks with the Tennessee Valley Authority tells Fox.
We have crews that are out. The local power providers have crews that are out. Everybody on the ground trying to get the power restored as quickly as possible.
The storm's blamed for at least 9 deaths in several states, including Texas, where in Frisco, a teenager died while she was sledding, being pulled by a Jeep, and then the sled veered off and went into a tree. In Bangor, Maine, a private plane crashed during the storm last night. 8 people on board. No word if there are survivors.
There was a massive fire after that crash. It happened on takeoff. Visibility was about 3/4 of a mile, which is very low. Obviously snowy, windy conditions in Bangor, Maine at the time.
Fox Business Network Cheryl Kazonias. For commercial flights, there are 3,700 700 more canceled today. The protests rage on in Minneapolis over Saturday's shooting when a Border Patrol agent killed a protester, Alex Pretty. Democratic state officials demand an end to the immigration enforcement.
The federal government cannot trample over the prerogatives of the state.
That's State Attorney General Keith Ellison. He got a judge to order evidence be preserved in this hearing today. Deputy U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche tells Fox.
There's an ongoing investigation, as we've said, all weekend, and obviously we're not destroying evidence.
The Super Bowl is set.
Here over the middle, Cooper Kupp, it's in! Touchdown, Seahawks!
That ended up the game-winning score for Seattle, beating the Los Angeles Rams 31-27 on Fox to win the NFC Championship. The Seahawks will play the Patriots. New England won the AFC title, beating the Broncos in a blizzard in Denver 10-7. America's listening to Fox News.
This President's Day, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Ben Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G coverage. What? Franklin wasn't even a president. Hang on to those Benjamins. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, to switch to an American wireless company that's truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
That weekend shooting in Minnesota, the third one during the much protested immigration enforcement raids there, has Democrats in Congress even angrier, and they may block funding for Homeland Security ahead of a Friday deadline to fund the government, or else there'll be another partial shutdown. This is another D.C. member of Congress decides not to run for re-election, the Washington delegate.
Eleanor Holmes Norton has represented the District of Columbia in Congress for 18 terms. Now she's ready to call it a career. The Democrats filed paperwork to end her re-election campaign. The 88-year-old, who's been the district's only representative in Congress since 1991, has been an institution in Washington politics for decades. And while she didn't have a vote, Norton had the ear of many in her party. She's one of the oldest members of the House and a veteran of the civil rights movement, helping to organize the 1963 March on Washington. Mayor Muriel Bowser congratulated Norton on her retirement, calling her D.C.'s warrior on the Hill. Daria Albinger, Fox News.
Procrastinators won't care about this. The tax filing deadline's not till April 15th, but those expecting a refund can file starting today.
The IRS says today's the day you can start filing your 2025 taxes, which are due by April 15th. So get those W-2s or 1099s in hand. Changes to keep in mind this year due to the so-called Big Beautiful Bill include new deductions, like up to $25,000 on tips and over $12,000 in overtime. The federal limit on deducting state and local taxes was raised to $40,000 for most people. And there are also deductions for those older than 65, as well as for those who purchased U.S. assembled vehicles. You can apply for a tax filing extension, and the IRS does not demand a reason, but you do need to file an official form. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures have been mostly lower ahead of this week's trading. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Bill, we have cloudy skies, 14 degrees. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. News time is 7:05. This news update is brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. It is a long list of school closures. The following are closed today: Adirondack, Brookfield, Camden, Central Valley, Clinton, Colgate, Dulgeville, Edmiston, Frankfort, Schuyler, Hamilton, Herkimer, Herkimer-Boces, Herkimer College, Holland Patton, Little Falls, Madison, Oneida Boces, Mohawk Valley Christian Academy, Morrisville Eaton, Mount Markham, MVCC, the Utica and Rome campuses, New Hartford, Notre Dame, Oppenheim, Ephrata, St. Johnsville, Oneida, Herkimer, Madison, Boces, Oriskany, O&D Young, all closed today. Also closed, Poland, Remsen, Richfield Springs, Rome, Sequoia Valley, Sherburne, Earlville, St. Francis de Sales, and Stockbridge Valley. SUNY Morrisville has remote learning today. SUNY Oneonta, SUNY Poly, Utica City schools are closed, along with VVS, Waterville, West Canada Valley, Westmoreland, and Whitesboro. Town of Webb schools are on a 2-hour delay. That full list at WIBX950.com. Utica firefighters battled another house fire in frigid temperatures this weekend, the fourth two-alarm fire the UFD has had in the past week. The most recent blaze occurred on Fiore Drive in the city. No word on any injuries. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. Oneida County Executive Anthony Pacenti appointing a new county historian. She is Alexis Albright, a graduate of Oriskany Central School. She holds an associate degree in liberal arts from Mohawk Valley Community College and a Bachelor of Science degree in history from Clarkson University. Since 2018, she has served as a curator for the Oriskany Museum and was appointed municipal historian in the village of Oriskany in 2019. The Utica St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee has announced its Grand Marshal. Bob Sullivan will lead the parade coming up in March. Sullivan says he's one of the people who works behind the scenes. The 2026 St. Patrick's Day Parade in Utica will occur at 10 a.m. on Saturday, March 14th. And an Albany police officer finds himself on the other side of the law after being arrested on drug charges. 45-year-old Nathan Ensel is accused of selling illegal drugs while off duty. State police took Ensel and another suspect into custody after executing search warrants in Rensselaer and Greene counties. They ended up finding drug paraphernalia, including packaging materials, scales, and cocaine. The Times-Union reports that Ensel is currently being held in the Rensselaer County Jail without bail. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 7:08. Here's a look at your Weather Center forecast.
Any winter storm warnings, at least for the synoptic snow in the North Country, coming to an end. The lake snow is going to get going again this week, and already lake effect snow warnings. Not include Oneida County yet, but that could change. Another couple of feet in the more favored snowbelt areas coming in starting tomorrow, right through maybe Thursday. We'll still see some snow showers. Blowing snow this morning could reduce visibilities. Not looking for much in the way of additional accumulation, if any. Near 20 today, single digits tonight puts the North Country below zero. Some snow showers. Scattered snow showers tomorrow, 15. More snow showers Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic at the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, cloudy skies and 14 degrees.
I don't want to be an idiot, but I was trying to figure out what is synoptic snow. Do you know what that is?
I don't.
Synopsis, right? Synoptic would be a roundup. The only thing I can think is that it's the closing end. It's the rounding up of the storm, and the final snowfall would be the synoptic snow. But I'm going to tell you, we have Ray on, and I'm going to ask him. I got to know what synoptic snow is. Right? Don't you want to know?
Yes.
Maybe it's a meteorological term. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm going to ask you with sports.
Thank you, Bill. Super Bowl 60 is now set. The Seahawks survived the Rams, the final 31-27. They advance to Super Bowl 60, and they will take on the New England Patriots, who got by the Broncos 10-7 in a snowy AFC Championship game from Denver. Christian Gonzalez picked off Jarrett Stidham late to steal the win as New England wins its first postseason game at Mile High in franchise history, and they secured their NFL best 12th Super Bowl appearance. I did find it interesting, not to rub salt in the wound, I hope it doesn't seem that way, but the Drake May kid, first of all, I saw a sign that says, in Denver, the snow doesn't melt until May. I thought that was cute. And to be honest with you, I couldn't tell if it was pro-Broncos or pro-Patriots, the sign. But I thought the wordplay was nice. But, so many comparisons to Tom Brady. And I mentioned there's a rabbit hole you can find online where they believe that Drake May is a clone. Not that Tom Brady was the father of Drake May,
that whole
but
thing.
he's a clone. There's a difference, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, I think this is one of the worst Super Bowls.
I'm not excited at all. I'm not excited.
And if the Bills had played this game, I just cannot help but think that the Bills would have even injured, would have walked away with a win. But you know what? They didn't play well last week. That's what happens.
I'll tell you this. The thing I found interesting, Drake May did something Tom Brady has never done. Won a playoff game in Denver. Brady was 0-3.
That is true, yeah.
So the clone is apparently better than the original. Let's see. Super Bowl 60 will be less than 2 weeks away now, 13 days away. So we have that little gap in between. There'll be a media week, and I'm sure a whole lot of trash talking goes into that as well. The Utica Pioneers picked up 2 more wins this weekend. They're now 8-0 in conference play. They beat Albertus Magnus at home 10-4 and 5-1 this weekend. Up next for the Pioneers is St. John Fisher, a home-and-home series that begins this coming weekend. The Utica Comets 1-2 on the weekend. They did wrap up the weekend, though, with a 5-1 victory on Sunday. The Comets will be home this coming weekend, as a matter of fact, when they do the big drawing, where it's $75,000 cash or the vehicle.
Yeah, Corvette.
The Corvette, yeah.
Yeah, that's this week. Friday night, which is also Star Wars night, I think, right? Starts at 6 o'clock.
Very cool.
I was surprised. So Bobby Sullivan is the Grand Marshal of
the former economic guy.
Oh.
A different Bob Sullivan.
The one from Thornberries.
No, different Bob Sullivan.
Oh, it's a different one.
Yes.
Oh.
I believe he's a volunteer. They didn't identify him as a volunteer, but they said he was a guy who worked a lot behind the scenes in recent years.
Because the way he shoots from the sidelines, Bobby Sullivan, I thought, he's going to come in because he shoots. He used to be Galimi's friend, and now he's like attacking Galimi at every step. And I'm assuming he'd be walking with Katie Aiello, but criticizing everything along the way. That's probably what he would do. So this is a different Bob Sullivan.
Yes.
My apologies.
A different guy.
I had no idea.
Katie's got a new video out, by the way.
I think she does unbelievably well with those videos.
She does.
She gets numbers on those. I don't know. I wonder if she monetizes them. If she doesn't monetize them and she's getting those numbers, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, you have pain in your back and your shoulders and your neck. The Good Feet Store could be your answer. They are arch support specialists. And imagine if you were to find out it's been your walk all along that's been causing the pain. Well, it can be corrected. You get a free fitting with no obligation. It's personalized. They'll do a test walk with you right there in the store. There's not an appointment needed. And they'll come up with a 3-step system for you, which includes strengtheners, maintainers, and relaxers. 3 categories of arch supports with varying levels of strength and support that work together to improve and maintain proper foot alignment by exercising and strengthening muscles, tendons, and ligaments. And you're just doing your everyday thing. You're really not even exercising. They're located at the Good Feet Store, Commercial Drive. That's 4630 Commercial Drive in New Hartford.
I was just going to say, I learned something just a few minutes ago that I did not know from this weekend. A Saratoga Springs High School graduate was interviewed by the Bills for their head coaching position. Anthony Weaver interviewed with the Bills over the weekend after the team fired Sean McDermott. Weaver has spent the last 2 seasons as defensive coordinator with the Miami Dolphins. He worked for the Bills in 2013 as a defensive line coach.
I did not know that.
And he also played 7 NFL seasons with the Ravens and Houston Texans.
The way you made it sound is that he graduated high school in June, and he's like, you know what? I think I could do this. I could pull this off.
What's his name? Mike McDaniel. He looks like he just graduated from high school.
He pulled himself out of the running of the Bills job.
Actually, I have to
say,
he's
offensive coordinator going to be for the Chargers.
Yeah. You know, he kind of looks like your son Benjamin.
He
Mike
does.
McDaniel.
He has kind of a look like that.
A little bit.
I didn't want him anyway.
Well, I just don't think he would fit in with his clothing style. I just don't think he'd fit in Buffalo.
He can't wear those capris in a snowstorm in Buffalo.
No, Sean McDermott fit in. He was a former wrestler, state champion, a blue-collar guy. He fit in. He would not fit in.
Speaking of athletic credentials, I want your take on this story. Former Olympic snowboarder linked to murder and narco
Canadian
crimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is set to appear in a California federal courtroom today. Ryan Wedding was on the FBI's 10 most wanted list for allegedly trafficking cocaine and ordering a murder. The FBI says he was taken into custody on Thursday in Mexico City.
I think they said they had confiscated fentanyl enough to kill like a lot of people. But from snowboarder to
Olympic snowboarder.
Yeah.
Not
yeah.
pothead snowboarder.
Right.
Olympic
And
snowboarder.
Did anybody watch? So Friday night we were tuning into Netflix, and I'm like, I what is going on? I can't click on the free climber, the guy that was climbing in Taiwan, was climbing the world's tallest building, and it turns out there was wind, and Netflix postponed it till Saturday night. And we watched it. Nobody watched it?
I did not. I didn't even know it was happening.
If you watch, and you'll see this on Netflix, he is a free, I think they call him free solo climber or something. No ropes, no harness, just his hands and his feet. And he climbed the entire building. Which at some points the building goes outward, like it's not straight up. It's coming outward back into you.
Right.
And he climbed that building and got to the very top and stood on the top of the building and waved to everybody.
It's pretty wild. It's got to be quite an adrenaline rush, and I don't know how they don't pass out when they're doing it. You can't look down, or maybe they can.
He does.
It doesn't bother.
He does. He just stands at if I were to look down, I would begin to lose my balance. Or
same here.
The problem I might have is I'd get about halfway up. I'd never get halfway up, but I'd get halfway up, and I would begin to panic, like, oh my God, now I'm screwed. I can't go down. I can't go up.
Yeah.
Someone help me, and not him though.
Who was the guy we just went to lunch with? He made. We went to Aquavino.
Neil.
Neil. If I'm not mistaken, Neil is in his early 70s, and he climbs mountains.
He does
Solo.
He looks
solo,
like he's 40.
free.
He looks like he's 40.
Yeah, he doesn't look anywhere near 70. But he was showing me pictures where he will scale a rock.
This is the same thing. Only this guy's like the best in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had some chalk that he was putting on his hands, and he kept dipping back, and he was carrying it with a rope around his waist. There was like a pail of this chalk that supposedly just got rid of any moisture on his hands.
Yeah, it helps with grip. Yep.
And but it wasn't sticky.
Yes.
It just got rid of the moisture. And I'm gonna confess.
Okay.
There's a little part of me, like way deep in, that was like, I'm staying with this because,
well,
and then I'm thinking, I wonder if he slips and falls, if they'll show it. Will they cut the cameras? Will you see him falling down, like waving to everybody? Okay, this was my last climb. I'm heading to the ground.
I do have to say, it's reminiscent of the guy who used to walk between buildings on a tightrope.
Yes, the Wallenza.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the draw. Nobody cares if you can walk a straight line.
Those Wallenzas, by the way, were the trapeze people at Old Forge.
At Old Forge, yeah.
Did that little circus thing.
Yep.
And can you imagine that? And now they're like the world famous
Wallenzas.
Wallenzas, yeah. But this kid, he's like 40 or something. I don't know how he does it at that age, but it's unbelievable.
40's not old, Bill.
It isn't.
It's not young. But it's not old.
But
listen, that's the draw. It's people watch. They don't want to know if you can walk a straight line. They want to know if you cannot fall to your death.
Or they want to be there if you do fall. It's the train wreck thing. We as humans, that's why we watched. That's why it was an event. But I watched it Saturday night. It was wild. On the line right now, she's 40, Kathy in Rome. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning. I have to say congratulations to the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I totally enjoyed watching Mr. Walker. Reminds me of his time with Michigan State football.
Well, there's always a tie back to Michigan State, right?
Oh, with Kathy it is, for sure.
Yeah. There's always that tie. So.
And we beat Michigan. We beat Maryland, so we're 18-2. But I'm looking at it. I still have a lot of hope for Syracuse. They could turn it around.
They better turn it around. or Autry's not going to be there. I think it's that bad. So
it would be nice to be able to play a game with Syracuse.
Yeah, well, that would be really nice. It'd be nice if Syracuse would play a game. That's what I'm hoping for. So, all right, Kathy,
All right.
good stuff. So you're
Take
rooting
care.
for. So you're
Bye-bye.
going for Seattle then.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. And by the way, thank you, Kathy. And by the way, that tailgate party, the conference championship tailgate party, was postponed because of the storm, and it's now a Super Bowl tailgate party. It'll happen on February 8th, Super Bowl Sunday, from 1 until 5. And there'll be a ton of prizes and great food at the Waterfront Grill in Herkimer. Be ready for that. On the line right now is Sheriff Rob Mashel. We want to get an update on the road conditions out there. Sheriff, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good. I don't know, how did you do? You're on the outskirts, more in the country. How did you do when it comes to snow?
We probably got somewhere between 12 and 14 inches, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm just out here finishing my driveway now. That's why I missed Davey's text there. But I did the driveway quick last night before I went in, and it made it a little easier for me today. But we're used to this here. I mean, the snowbanks around our place are just massive remnants or reminders of last year.
Yeah.
But my morning briefing, things are pretty well under control. At least we don't have any major wind to blow the snow around.
Yeah.
Roads are still, certainly got to use caution. But for the most part, the public works departments in every town, every village, certainly the county and the state and the cities, I think they got a pretty good handle on this. I know, we got kind of hyped up for this storm, and which is not a bad thing because everybody was definitely prepared. But to be honest with you, we expected a lot worse. So I'm good. I'm glad with that, and just nothing out of the ordinary. There's some concern, some issues, accidents, cars off the road here and there, but nothing out of the ordinary on a wintry day like this in central New York. So
this is just and it was slow moving, right? It piled up. A foot of snow came over the course of really almost 24 hours. So you didn't get that 4 inches an hour or anything like that. So that made it much easier.
That's what they were predicting, that, the 2 to 4 inches an hour. And I mean, I watched it yesterday. It snowed nice and steady all day. So, there's a lot of folks that go out and do the driveways every 15 minutes. So they kept up with it.
Yeah.
I only say that because I grew up in the neighborhood where Jeff lives now, and I remember all the neighbors, man, one snowflake in the air, and they were out there with their shovels.
Rob, I was going to say, I have a neighbor who I guarantee you go out there this morning, and he's got blacktop.
Yeah.
He
absolutely
minds his driveway better than anybody I've ever seen. He's got blacktop right now this morning.
This type of snow, too. This is the type of snow where you can take a leaf blower out there.
Yes.
And
I tried
blow
it
it
on
off
my
your
deck,
sidewalk.
and it was light enough to move it.
Yeah, it's very fine and thin, fine.
But all in all, after all the preparations, we're pretty happy with the outcome. So hats off to all the public works departments, certainly the volunteer firefighters and law enforcement out there today. But again, just take it slow and give yourself some extra time, and you'll be fine.
All right, Sheriff, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Sounds good, guys.
One other thing, are you noticing it's kind of freezing on your windshield?
Well, inside my tractor cab, it's about 600 degrees right now. There's nothing freezing on my windshield.
Okay. Apparently, I didn't have it warm enough. So, all right, good stuff. Thank you.
Sounds good.
All right,
take
Sheriff
care.
Rob Mashel. Mike this morning says, I also had confusion over Bobby Sullivan as the Grand Marshal. He'd be throwing out gift cards to a crowd rather than candy. Bottom. That's a good one. And then he said Netflix had it on a 10-second delay in case he fell Friday night or Saturday night.
Okay.
So we would have seen him slip, but we would not have seen him hit. Now, it was interesting because the way that building was built, it was on levels. So there was almost like a walk around type patio so there'd be one that was the widest, and then a little bit smaller would sit on that, and then so if he came straight down, he would have landed on one of those platforms, which is probably only 15, 20 stories. He'd still be dead, but he wouldn't go all the way down. But it was pretty windy, so my guess is if he were to fall, the wind would have taken him, and it wouldn't have been good. And he did not have a parachute, and I'm not sure a parachute would work. But the 10-second delay would protect us from all seeing the splat.
Yeah.
And there was none. He climbed to the top. It was unbelievable.
Amazing nerves and grip strength to
and
be able
you
to
see
do
him
that.
climbing these mountains, and it's just all without a harness, without a wire, without anything. I mean, you slip one slip, you're dead. I mean, sooner or later, this guy is going to have a problem. I would think this would be my last one. He's got a family. He's got kids. This would be my last one.
How much do you think he makes doing that?
He made a lot of money.
Yeah?
I have no idea. But he had to. Why else would you do it?
Is that like I guess that,
I mean, Evil
that falls
Knievel.
into the world of sport. But could you imagine that? What's his name?
I don't remember his name.
Yeah. Jimmy so-and-so signs a 3-building contract with Netflix. He'll climb 3 buildings this year.
Yes, next will be who knows what. But this building is the tallest in the world. So pretty big. I believe it was the tallest in the world. At the very least, it was very, very tall. Steve Ponte Mazda, their new Mazda sales event is back. Save on a new Mazda lease or enjoy 1.9% APR financing on new 2025 Mazda CX-5s with a 0.9% rate on turbo models, 0.9% on new 2025 Mazda CX-50s, and 1.9% on hybrids, and 2.9% on new 2025 Mazda CX-30s. I will say my CX-90, I've added snow tires. I could drive through. I can drive through anything with that. Great vehicle in the snow. See the dealership for all the details. Rick or anybody over there at Steve Ponte Mazda. And as Rick says, let's make your deal on a new Mazda, where it's always easy to do business. Steve Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Davie, we're doing Hopeika's free money question of the day today. And we'll have a secondary question where somebody gets a chance to win. We'll probably do that this week. And then next week I have something a little special we'll get to. So a chance to win Jimmy Fallon tickets, which is a week from this coming Saturday at the Rome Capitol Theater. There are still great seats available to grab if you like. And go to romecapital.com for details. You're looking this morning when we do this, how much money we're talking about today?
$100.
Oh, come on. How about 155?
Yeah, 155 would be nice.
Okay.
160?
165.
165. See how he's so hard to negotiate with, Davey.
He's very particular.
165 it is. Plus a chance at Jimmy Fallon tickets. And we'll do that coming up in a second, so get ready for that. Manaski updates the news, any new delays that we have. For the most part, the winter storm warning has been lifted. The roads are in pretty good shape. There's still a lot of cleanup that they're going to have to do. But the fact that this was a slow-moving, slow accumulating snow, it seemed, I think allowed plows to really keep on top of it. And they did a great job. Snow emergency still in effect. All the details coming up with Manaski's News on WIBX.
Cartoon Madness is coming to the Rome Capitol Theater February 16th through the 21st at 3 p.m. daily, 3 and 7 p.m. on Saturday, February 21st. This year's theme, Looney Tunes Goes to War. 8 dozen cartoons in the Looney Tunes Merry Melody series with Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, and more, all made during the World War II period. Tickets are $5 for adults and $3 for children 12 and under. More info at romecapital.com. Cartoon Madness, Looney Tunes Goes to War, February 16th through the 21st at the Rome Capitol Theater.
Something old is new in the village of New Hartford. Introducing Handshake Antiques, now open at 66 Genesee Street, next to Giorgio's Village Cafe. Not your grandma's antique shop. Think clean, curated, and cool. From high-end furniture, vintage fashion, vinyl records, to oddities and all things eclectic. And we're always buying, so look in your attic or basement. And if it's old, call Handshake Antiques. Plus, inventory changes weekly, so every visit is a new find. Handshake Antiques, where it never went out of style.
Hey, I got you something. What's this? Just a little Galentine's gift from Jewelry Television.
JTV, I love their jewelry. I had my eye on this pearl bracelet on JTV.com. Plus, I love their colored gemstone jewelry. And oh, have you seen their gold?
Right now, take up to 70% off select jewelry and gifts at JTV.com.
You are not going to believe their gemstones and their artisan collections. Gorgeous.
Are you going to open your gift?
It's the pearl bracelet.
Visit JTV.com.
Looking to slide into savings with a reliable ride without the brand new price tag? Then it's time to warm up to the winter deals at Steve Ponte Chevrolet in Herkimer. Check out their Car Bravo certified pre-owned vehicles. Every vehicle is backed by a certified warranty and low financing options. Right now, qualified buyers can lock in chill cool rates as low as 3.9% for 36 months on select Car Bravo certified pre-owned vehicles like the Chevrolet Equinox, Trax, Trailblazer, and Traverse. At Steve Ponte Chevy, their team makes car buying stress-free. But don't wait, these winter savings won't last forever. Head to Steve Ponte Chevrolet, where it's always easy to do business. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. State Route 28 in Herkimer, or online at StevePonteChevy.com. Customers must qualify for top-tier credit through GM Financial. All taxes and fees due on delivery. Must take delivery by January 31st, 2026. See salesperson for details.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
I spent years living in fear of calcium oxalate crystal stones, always afraid of when the next one would hit. Now, I just take Kidney Cop.
Battling calcium oxalate stones? It's time to try Kidney Cop, a doctor-recommended kidney supplement that has been shown in laboratory tests to reduce the growth rate of calcium oxalate crystals by 99%. Get Kidney Cop today at Amazon.com, Walmart.com, or KidneyCop.com.
Surprise! Your expenses this month were way higher than you expected. Also, you forgot to renew your website domain, and now you're in a bidding war.
You should see the look on your face.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room, and now everything smells weird.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hey, it's your radio buddy Jimmy Fallon, host of Fox Across America. We're talking politics, pop culture, and comedy, minus all the rage and finger-pointing. It's real talk for real people who just want to laugh, think, maybe learn something along the way. So join the fun, weekdays at noon right here on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, Central New York's home for talk that's smart, honest, and just the right amount of crazy. Fox Across America with your main man, Jimmy Fallon.
We have cloudy skies and 14 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 7:34. This update is brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. The Department of Homeland Security under a judge's order to preserve evidence in the Alex Preddy shooting in Minneapolis. The 37-year-old ICU nurse at a local VA hospital was shot and killed by federal immigration agents on Saturday morning. Minneapolis police had called for the State Bureau of Criminal Apprehension to investigate the shooting, but its investigative team was reportedly blocked by federal agents from accessing the area. At least 13 people killed in the winter storm that hit large sections of the United States. 5 people were found dead outside in New York City. At least 3 people were killed in Tennessee, with other deaths reported in Arkansas, Kansas, Michigan, and Texas. The New England Patriots will battle the Seattle Seahawks in Super Bowl 60. The Pats outlasted the Broncos 10-7 in a snowy Denver, and the Seahawks took down the Rams 31-27 on Sunday night, securing their spot in the big game. It's actually a rematch of Super Bowl 49. A former Olympic snowboarder linked to murder and narco crimes is expected to appear in a California federal courtroom today. Ryan Wedding was on the FBI's 10 most wanted list for allegedly trafficking cocaine and ordering a murder. The FBI says he was taken into custody on Thursday in Mexico City. The Fed is set to announce its first interest rate decision of the year. That happens on Wednesday at the conclusion of the 2-day meeting of the Fed Open Market Committee. It's expected the central bank will leave interest rates unchanged for the time being. And Bill, sinners And One Battle After Another are coming back to IMAX 70mm screens. This comes after both films scored Oscar nominations earlier this week. Sinners became the most nominated film of all time with 16. One Battle After Another scored 13 nominations. Have you seen either?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Neither
Sometimes I watch stuff and I'm like, what is the name of that thing? We watched the one with Leonardo DiCaprio yesterday. That was really good. Crazy, but really good.
Right now, we have cloudy skies, 14 degrees at 7:36.
Any winter storm warnings, at least for the synoptic snow in the North Country, coming to an end. The lake snow is going to get going again this week, and already lake effect snow warnings. Not include Oneida County yet, but that could change. Another couple of feet in the more favored snowbelt areas coming in starting tomorrow, right through maybe Thursday. We'll still see some snow showers. Blowing snow this morning could reduce visibilities. Not looking for much in the way of additional accumulation, if any. Near 20 today, single digits tonight puts the North Country below zero. Some snow showers. Scattered snow showers tomorrow, 15. More snow showers Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Ray Stagik at the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Bill, right now, cloudy and 13. I have a text message here from Kevin in Utica. He says, huge shout out to the Utica and Rome DPW, Oneida County DPW, New York State DOT, and New York State Thruway. Kevin on his morning commute said the roads were very clear from Utica all the way to the Oneida Indian Nation property.
I agree. I think at least where you said Commercial Drive, you thought was a little rough, but I had smooth sailing this morning at just before 6 o'clock. I thought they did a really good job.
And to be clear, I wasn't criticizing
slippery
the road crews. I just thought it was slicker than I expected. They were out there doing their thing.
That fine snow is really slippery. So, all right, coming up, we'll do Habaika's free money question of the day. Davey, you're looking for it's 100 and what did you say, 65? $1.65 plus a chance at Jimmy Fallon tickets. You're looking for caller number what here?
Caller 6.
Caller 6, and Jimmy comes to town. A week from this coming Saturday on February 7th. It's Super Bowl weekend. It's a 7 p.m. show at the Rome Capitol. Get your tickets now, or maybe you have a chance to win some coming up right here. Caller number 6, 315-736-0186. We'll do it next to WIBX.
Hurt in a car, call William Mattar. 315-444-4444.
Surprise! Your expenses this month were way higher than you expected. Also, you forgot to renew your website domain, and now you're in a bidding war.
You should see the look on your face.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room, and now everything smells weird.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
It all began in 1985 with a single goal, a commitment to brighten our community. And with your kindness, that light grew brighter. Because for 40 years, you've helped Food Bank of Central New York deliver healthy food and hope. But that need continues to grow. So this year, please consider giving a little extra and make sure the light we shine together never goes out.
This is one of those topics that no one really wants to think about, but if you're a parent, a homeowner, married, or helping take care of aging parents, it's something that honestly deserves a little attention. I'm talking about estate planning. And before you tune out thinking it's complicated or expensive, that's actually why I want to mention Trust and Will. Trust and Will makes estate planning feel way less intimidating than it sounds. They offer modern, attorney-designed wills and trusts that you can create online. And the process is surprisingly straightforward. In fact, you can create a will in as little as 30 minutes. That includes things like guardianship for your kids or pets, how your assets are distributed, and even healthcare directives. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your loved ones with Trust and Will, the most trusted name in online estate planning. Go to trustandwill.com/news to get 20% off. That's trustandwill.com/news for 20% off. trustandwill.com/NEWS.
Byrna was recently ranked number 10 on Forbes' list of the 100 most successful small-cap American companies for the year 2025. Now, that is a recognition earned by solving real problems for real people. And their mission is simple, designed to stop, not kill, non-lethal force, BYRNA.com. Byrna creates launchers for everyone in the family. The newest Byrna, compact, it's small enough to fit in a pocket or a purse, yet powerful enough to deliver real stopping power even 60 feet out. It gives you confidence to defuse a dangerous situation without having to resort to lethal force. I carry one every day, and I believe that every family and family member should have Byrna within their reach. Now, it fires potent kinetic, tear gas, and pepper ammo rounds that can disable any attacker for up to 30 or 40 minutes. Law enforcement agencies all across the country now use Byrna technology. Just visit BYRNA.com today and find the right launcher for you and your family. That's Byrna.com.
Cartoon Madness is coming to the Rome Capitol Theater February 16th through the 21st at 3 p.m. daily, 3 and 7 p.m. on Saturday, February 21st. This year's theme, Looney Tunes Goes to War. 8 dozen cartoons in the Looney Tunes Merry Melody series with Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, and more, all made during the World War II period. Tickets are $5 for adults and $3 for children 12 and under. More info at RomeCapital.com. Cartoon Madness, Looney Tunes Goes to War, February 16th through the 21st at the Rome Capitol Theater.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, it's time for Hobica's free money question of the day. It comes to you from the Hobica Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobica, 315-724-1600. It's a chance today for somebody to walk away winner of $165, says Davey. And, of course, chance at Jimmy Fallon tickets as well. Bob is on line number 2. Okay, Bob is not on line number 2. Bob, we're going to give you a second to call back, and otherwise I'll open it up, and we'll give it to anybody. All right, I'll take the first person in right now, 315-736-0186. Bob, if that's you, we'll take you. If we miss you, we'll get you in. We'll get you in tomorrow. Call right now. It's a chance at $165 plus Jimmy Fallon tickets. First one in is going to be Mary Ann. Hello, Mary. Is this Mary Ann or no? Who's calling?
No, this is Johnny from Bridgewater.
It's John in Bridgewater.
Hey,
John.
How you doing, man?
I'm sitting outside drinking the coffee right now, talking to you. I had to pull over.
Okay, smart. That's very smart. You don't want to. You want to be completely concentrating here.
So, do I have this right? Not only did you pull over, you got out of the vehicle. You said you're sitting outside
and made a cup of coffee.
No, I'm sitting in the car listening to you. And I said, you know what? I need to hit redial.
All right, beautiful. All right.
Hey, Bill, happy 100 years, man. Thank you.
Hard to believe, huh? Right, 100 years of this
100
place.
years.
That's crazy.
I got 42 in with you.
Yeah, well, you're a good man.
Right,
let's just be technical about this. I don't have 100 years in, but the station does anyway. So, you know.
Well, you know what I meant.
I do, and we appreciate it. All right, so you'll have 7 seconds to answer. You know how the whole thing goes, and we'll give you a chance at Jimmy Fallon tickets as well. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Here we go. This is your first one. This is the question for the $165. What was the original wording of the Hollywood sign? What was the original wording? It didn't say Hollywood. What did it say? Ready, go.
It wasn't Dollywood. No, Dollywood. No, it's not that. I heard it.
Dollywood.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think there was a movie, and the movie was Hollywoodland.
Is that what it said?
It said Hollywoodland. And now it just says Hollywood. I mean, think of the amount of wood they saved. And bracing and all that by taking the L-A-N-D off. Hollywoodland.
I've never heard that.
Yeah. All right, so you missed there, but now for the Jimmy Fallon tickets. Jimmy Fallon coming to the Rome Capitol Theater on February 7th. And you'll have 7 seconds to answer this one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go with this one. The creators of Casper, the Friendly Ghost, say this film's logo, and they sued over it, plagiarized one of their characters. What movie did they say plagiarized their character? Ready, go.
Not a clue.
Just pick a movie that involves ghosts.
Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Okay, well, Casper the Friendly Ghost is the lawsuit. They're the ones who sued. They're saying, now listen to the question.
Ghostbusters?
Creators of Casper say this film's logo plagiarized one of their characters.
Slimer from Ghostbusters?
Ghostbusters
Yes.
is the
I
answer.
think Jeff got it, yeah.
Manaski wins. He gets tickets to see Jimmy Fallon. Congratulations.
Put my name down.
That's right, Jeff. You've won tickets to see Jimmy Fallon. Yeah. Anyway.
Take me with you, and I'll buy you lunch.
Okay. All right. Listen, we will give you the all-in-one food and fun cards, a $25 gift card. Thank you for pulling over and calling in, and you stand by, okay?
Hey Jeff, thanks. You bring a lot of talent to the show, man. You are smart. You know your stuff, and you guys are awesome, man. Thanks.
Thank you,
John. Thank you, John.
And Davey.
I hope you're.
My buddy Davey.
Davey's the greatest.
You're enjoying retirement. Hold on a second, all right?
I am.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
I love retirement.
All
We'll see you.
All right. Thanks so much.
That was a very nice thing of him to say.
That's very nice.
Not true, but I'll take it nonetheless.
We're so used to things like, it makes me sick that you're back. You're so talentless. At least after 2 days off, that's what I heard.
I got a couple of those emails, too.
On the line right now is Chief Mark Williams with UPD. Chief, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Did you know any of those answers?
I knew the Hollywoodland one.
Yeah, the Hollywoodland. Yep. And then the Casper. I mean, what other movie is like cartoon, has a little cartoony to it, cartoonish to the logo, and it's Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that was doable.
All right. I want to start, if we could, Chief, with the streets and the cold. And I know that the county executive opened up the county building for as a warming center just because it was so cold. Things, I think, seem to be in pretty good shape here this morning.
I got to give a shout out to the Utica DPW and the Parks Department. They were out there since 3 o'clock yesterday with 13 plows. We had no complaints of any streets not being passable. They really did a great job.
And it is the technology. They're able to see where everybody is, where everybody goes, that sort of thing. I think that's good technology to have.
Absolutely. No different than we use technology to fight crime.
Yeah. And then obviously the cold is something that and really is going to continue. We have single-digit highs, I think 4 out of the next 5 days. So it's going to be cold. And how do you deal with that? Do we get to a certain point where you start picking people up? How do you handle that?
No, it's kind of strange. In the wintertime, for some reason, we see less people that are homeless on the streets. So apparently they are finding some type of housing or shelter. But the ones we do come across, not only do we take advantage of the county shelter, but we also have our local shelter as well with the rescue mission as well.
Yeah. Okay. Because obviously once you get down, I mean, listen, cold is cold. It could be 40 degrees and it's cold out, but you start getting down to 8, 9 degrees and overnight lows below zero. That is just frigid. And then you add the wind to it. It can be really something. And do you find, this is just anecdotal, but do you find that crimes in general tend to go down when it gets really cold and snowy?
You know, I'm probably going to curse myself by saying this, but typically the past 3-4 years, we've seen a lot of our gun violence occur during the month of January. I'm knocking on wood because it has not occurred this month, and I hope it stays that way.
Yeah. We all hope it stays that way. And then I wanted to ask you about what's going on in Minneapolis. I know there was an ICE raid in Syracuse. I believe Katie Aiello was saying that it was a false alarm, that there was an ICE raid in Utica. Although we have heard ICE has been on the streets of Utica. I'll get to Minneapolis in a second, but what are we experiencing here?
So any ICE operations, they work independently of the police department. Typically, we do not even know when they're in town doing any type of operations. The operations they have done are very small. We find out usually after the fact. And to your point, I think the other issue is that sometimes some other law enforcement agencies are being mistaken for ICE, and people are reporting that it's ICE when it's not.
So that recent reporting over the weekend of ICE in town was not correct.
I can't confirm that one. I haven't heard that one yet.
Okay, all right. I think that was in Katie Aiello's video. And I'm sure you've seen the shootings and the one this weekend. And I keep saying that if that event occurred in Utica or in Rome or in the even in the Valley or in our communities, police would act differently. It would not be done the same way. And I wonder your opinion on what you saw over the weekend on Saturday morning in Minneapolis.
I think local law enforcement are more experienced, more trained to deal with our local population than federal agencies that aren't. I think that our officers use a lot more restraint than what I've seen in just the videos that have been circulated around. But again, I mean, we have no control of their operations. We can't obstruct what they do. And, you see what's happening in some of the other cities, especially Minneapolis with the 3 shootings in the past month and a half. You got to worry. Sometimes you got to question when some of their tactics maybe are too aggressive.
Yeah, and I think he called the. I was watching the press conference yesterday on the Sunday morning programs, and I believe the head of ICE said we use many de-escalation tactics like tear gas. I'm not sure that spraying tear gas at point range right into the face and eyes of a person is a de-escalation.
No, it starts all the talk.
Yeah, I feel like you then react as a human. You're reacting. You lose control of yourself at that point. And
you stop listening too because you're so worried about your eyes are burning
and you've lost orientation. And not to say that tear gas can't be used, but is it customary to when you're a foot away from someone to spray them right in the eyes? Is that something that is done in regular police work?
Not here in Utica. All I can tell you is that usually everything starts out with a conversation, with strong commands, and if someone gets aggressive to the point where they may be physically threatening the officer, then they may result to other types of tools. But that should be a last resort type of option.
Yeah. All right. All right. Well, we appreciate what you guys do, and listen, it's not easy. Police work, you know it better than anybody. It's not easy, and things can get chaotic. Certainly, if there's a protest or a group of people, what your officers, men and women, do is really incredible, and we do appreciate it.
I appreciate you recognizing that as well. Thank you.
All right, Chief. Thank you so much. Have a great day and stay warm out there.
Take care, Bill.
Chief Mark Williams with UPD 754 WIBX.
Surprise! Your expenses this month were way higher than you expected. Also, you forgot to renew your website domain, and now you're in a bidding war.
You should see the look on your face.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room, and now everything smells weird.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
The Potting Shed Antiques in Whitesboro is buying silver, gold, gold-filled, vintage costume, estate jewelry, and U.S. and Canadian coins. They've been your hometown buyer for over 50 years. While other gold and silver buyers claim to offer the highest prices, the Potting Shed Antiques actually delivers. Let Don Hartman take a look at your individual pieces or your entire collection. The Potting Shed Antiques, open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Please call ahead for an appointment. Visit thepottingshedantiques.com.
Hello, everyone in Central New York. This is Dave Letterman, your old TV pal. Remember me? I'm supposed to say something witty and funny here about Bill Keeler, but I've got nothing. Ever see a picture of this guy? That's a joke in itself. Anyhow, here's Keeler on WIBX.
Hi, good morning. The snow did not hit the way we thought it was going to. We did not get anywhere near. Maybe you did where you're at, and you can let us know. 18, 20, 24 inches. I don't see it. Maybe, I believe I actually used a yardstick this morning and measured 11 inches at my house. And you realize that comes up to my waist, so it's tough to get through. But, you know, some comments here this morning.
Okay, so I'll begin with the ice stuff. This is from former City Comptroller Bill Morehouse. He said, nobody gets gassed that's peacefully protesting. If you interfere with ICE, you might die. And then he's followed up to say, if you resist arrest, you might die.
All right. First of all, apparently you're just listening to what Kristi Noem says, Bill, or you're looking through your TDS eyes, your Trump delusional syndrome eyes, because that's not what happened yesterday. Here's what happened. I believe they're all blowing whistles. That's the protest. So the last time I checked, under the First Amendment of the United States, you have the right to protest. You have the right to demonstrate. They have the right to be there. You have the right also to videotape any interaction police are having with someone. There was a woman. She was off to the side, but was blowing the whistle. Didn't at all. The video showed no bit of, and there were several videos, by the way, before and after what happened. And she was not rioting. She was blowing her whistle, and the officer, the ICE agent, came up and pushed her and knocked her to the ground. So the guy who is the nurse for the VA in Minneapolis, he is a nurse, a VA, taking care of veterans, Bill. He was holding, with his right hand, holding a camera and videotaping and documenting it. Absolutely has the right to do it. Despite what ICE is telling us and Noem has said, was not violent in any way, went to try to pick the woman up. The ICE agent pushed him. Then he turned around and faced the ICE agent, and that's when they sprayed him in the face with pepper spray and then took him to the ground. At one point, the videos show that they must have realized that he had a concealed carry permit. They didn't know that, but he had a gun in the holster. Never once did he grab the gun. At least certainly the video doesn't show it, but it does look like an ICE agent grabbed the gun from him. Within 2 seconds after that, bang, 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 like 7 shots, killing the man. Now, I don't see any rioting. There's no video to show any of that. They have the absolute right to protest. There are 3,000 agents in Minneapolis. If you see that he was violent, resisting arrest, interfering with their arrest, interfering with their investigation, you have been corrupted because your eyes don't show you that. Once again, we're being told what you're seeing on the video is not what you're seeing, and that's just not true.
Bill just replied. He said, if Bill's going to justify these morons that are interfering with ICE, I can't help it.
They're not interfering with ICE. They're out demonstrating like every American has the right to do. And what would you do, Bill, if you had 3,000 agents in your neighborhood?
Can we?
I'm sorry, I got to
continue this on the other side.
We can. Last I checked, they have the right to do it. Quick break. News.
From the WB Payne Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
23 inches of snow. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That is the biggest total in the massive storm measured in Pennsylvania. There's at least a foot of snow in a dozen other states and a lot of ice across the South.
Been a very difficult situation in our state. I will say that. We've had a truly historic storm.
Tennessee Governor Bill Lee, his state has the most power outages still this morning out of the 800,000 homes and businesses without electricity. And Lee tells Fox it's tough on crews with ice-covered trees.
Very dangerous situations. These limbs are falling down every every minute.
Driving remains difficult, too, from Texas to New England. Fox's Rich Edson's in Washington, D.C.
Walking around here isn't exactly like walking through the snow. It's walking on top of the snow. That's because of that layer of ice that sits on top of it. It's a big mess to try to remove from roads and sidewalks, but they are trying here. The plows are out. Number of stores and transit all trying to get back on track here on this Monday.
The storm is blamed for at least 9 deaths, including a teenager killed in a sledding accident in Texas. Her sled was being pulled by a Jeep at the time. There could be more deaths in Bangor, Maine, where a small plane went down last night in snowy conditions, then caught fire.
8 people were on board the private aircraft when it crashed around 7:45 local time on Sunday evening. Fox 26 Houston reports that the tail number of the plane is linked to a Houston, Texas law firm. There is no word on the conditions of those on board.
It's Fox's Tanya J. Powers. For those trying to take flights as the storm wanes, it's still difficult at airports. Another 3,800 cancellations. Yesterday, there were more than 11,000 flights grounded, the most since early COVID times, March 30th, 2020. The anti-ICE protests continue in Minnesota. Angry over Saturday's shooting, the left protester Alex Preddy dead. Democrats demand federal agents leave and that evidence from the shooting be preserved, which a judge ordered before a hearing today. Deputy U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche tells Fox.
We're going to go to court to say exactly what we're doing, which is, of course, we're investigating. We always investigate any conduct like this, any shooting like this. And
America's listening to Fox News.
This President's Day, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Ben Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G coverage. What? Franklin wasn't even a president. Hang on to those Benjamins. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, to switch to an American wireless company that's truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/Mike.
The Senate returns this week on deadline to do what the House did last week, approve funding for the government through September. If not, there will be another shutdown. And what happened over the weekend in Minnesota could throw a wrench in the works.
The Senate is set to vote this week on a package of bills to fund the government through the end of September. The minibus will include the funding bill for the Department of Homeland Security, and Democrats have made clear they want reforms and restrictions on ICE that could make getting the 60 votes needed to break the Senate filibuster a challenge. The package also includes funding for the Department of War and Housing and Urban Development. In Washington, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
Stocks could drop to start the week. Futures have been down, but only modestly after slight losses last week. At the gas pump,
the gasoline price slide did come to an end. In these 2 weeks, the price is up by 1 penny, with a new average for a regular at $2.90 per gallon.
And analyst Tribble Lundberg expects prices could rise some more. AAA's national average for regular is a bit less than her survey of stations, $2.88 per gallon. That is still almost a quarter less than a year ago. The Super Bowl is set. New England versus Seattle. A rematch of the big game 11 years ago. The Patriots won with a dramatic goal line stand in the closing seconds.
8 seconds left. Loading up near side Nakua. Is he out of bounds? Oh, my God. With 3 seconds. They're going to run the clock. That's going to do it. The Seahawks soar to Super Bowl 60.
Kevin Burkhardt with Tom Brady on Fox TV. The Seahawks held off the Rams 31-27 to win the NFC Championship. Seahawks favored over the Patriots by 4.5 points in Super Bowl 60. New England back in the big game for the first time in 7 years. Patriots held off the Broncos in snowy Denver 10-7.
That's Fox's Jared Max. Now, Super Bowl 60 will be played in Santa Clara, California, a week from this Sunday, February 8th. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Snowing again, 14 degrees. Good morning, I'm Jeff Manaske, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. News time is 8:05. Bill, it's now a big flake snowfall.
Oh, good.
It's a slow snow. So that's not snowfall.
I see it out there, yeah.
Slow snow is what I meant. The big Heavy flakes are coming down now. 14 degrees, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 8:05. If you're looking for that list of school closings and delays, you can find it at WIBX950.com. Utica firefighters battling another house fire in frigid temperatures over the weekend, the fourth two-alarm fire the UFD has dealt with in the past week. The most recent blaze occurred on Fiore Drive in the city. No word on any injuries. The cause of that fire is still under investigation. Oneida County has a new historian. County Executive Anthony Pacenti appointing Alexis Albright to the position. She's a graduate of Oriskany Central School and holds an associate degree in liberal arts from Mohawk Valley Community College and a Bachelor of Science degree in history from Clarkson University. Since 2018, Albright has served as curator of the Oriskany Museum and was appointed municipal historian in the village of Oriskany in 2019. A Grand Marshal has been named for Utica's St. Patrick's Day Parade. The announcement coming over the weekend. Bob Sullivan was introduced as the Grand Marshal. This year's parade is set for Saturday, March 14th. The parade will step off at 10 a.m. from Oneida Square. An Albany area police officer finds himself on the wrong side of the law. According to authorities, 45-year-old Nathan Ensel is accused of selling drugs while off duty. State police took Ensel and another suspect into custody after they executed search warrants in Rensselaer and Greene counties. They ended up finding drug paraphernalia, including packaging materials, scales, and allegedly cocaine. The Times-Union reports Ensel is in the Rensselaer County Jail, where he is being held without bail. And Bill, checking local gas prices, the price per gallon of regular fuel down again this week here locally. AAA says the average cost now $2.95. That's down a penny from last week, 7 cents over the past month. Currently, the statewide average is at $2.97, and nationally it is at $2.86. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time is 8:08. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
Any winter storm warnings, at least for the synoptic snow in the North Country, coming to an end. Lake snow is going to get going again this week, and already lake effect snow warnings. Not include Oneida County yet, but that could change. Another couple of feet in the more favored snowbelt areas coming in starting tomorrow, right through maybe Thursday. We'll still see some snow showers. Blowing snow this morning could reduce visibilities. Not looking for much in the way of additional accumulation, if any. Near 20 today, single digits tonight puts the North Country below zero. Some snow showers. Scattered snow showers tomorrow, 15. More snow showers Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic at the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
It is snowing and 14 degrees at 8:09. All right, moving quickly here in sports. Super Bowl 60 is set. The Patriots will take on the Seahawks in a rematch of Super Bowl 49. The Patriots outlasted the Broncos 10-7 in a snowy AFC Championship game from Denver. Christian Gonzalez picked off Jarrett Stidham late in the fourth quarter to seal the victory as New England won its first postseason game at Mile High in franchise history. Meanwhile, the Seahawks held off the Rams 31-27 in Seattle. Sam Darnold threw for almost 350 yards and 3 touchdown passes as the Hawks head back to the Super Bowl for the first time since their loss to New England in Super Bowl 49. Some head coaching news in the NFL. Mike McCarthy headed to Pittsburgh to be the next head coach of the Steelers. Contract details are still being worked out. The Steel City native did not coach this season after he left the Cowboys without an extension last year. One of the candidates for the Bills job got an interview over the weekend, and he is originally from Central New York. Weaver, I've lost the story here.
He's what,
Anthony Weaver.
Quarterback's
Anthony
coach?
Weaver.
What is he for Miami?
Anthony Weaver. He was a defensive coordinator with the Miami Dolphins for the past 2 seasons. And he spent some time in the NFL playing for the Baltimore Ravens and Houston Texans. But he got an interview over the weekend with the Buffalo Bills.
All right.
Some of the other names being talked about, former Giants head coach Brian Daboll. Some saying Bill Belichick, although I find that hard to believe.
No interview scheduled there.
And maybe Joe Brady as well. The Utica Comets over the weekend went 1-2. They did end the weekend with a victory 5-1 on Sunday. And the Utica Pioneers picked up 2 more wins. They improved to 8-0 in conference play. They beat Albertus Magnus at the Adirondack Bank Center twice this weekend, 10-4 and 5-1. Up next for the Pioneers, a home-and-home series with St. John Fisher.
I want to tell you, River Valley Church in Ilion, located at 8 2nd Street in Ilion, is having a shoe drive, and they're asking for people to donate gently worn or new shoes to help the homeless. And I believe these are shipped overseas, I believe. Maybe not. Maybe it's all done here. But it's for homeless people. Drop-off date is January 31st, this weekend. So you'll go to the location, 8 2nd Street, at the River Valley Church. They'll have people there. They'll grab it right out of your trunk for you. You don't even have to get out of your car. Donated shoes will be sent overseas, and all proceeds will support RVC's outreach program for the homeless. Anything else on that? All right, some comments. Let me take Fran first because he's been waiting. Or she. Fran, are you a he or a she? Good morning. Hi, Fran. Hey, Davey, you want to see who's on line one? What do you have on I know that you have comments. And there's comments on YouTube, too.
This is from Bill Morehouse. He says, if I lived next door to an illegal immigrant who was wanted for domestic abuse, I would point ICE in the direction of his house.
I agree with that, Bill. But we're past that. We're no longer getting murderers, rapists, thieves, and criminals. We're just getting everybody now. They're going after everybody. They've already said this. So you can keep going with that BS rhetoric that we're going out and getting the murderers, and people who are protesting it are standing up for pedophiles. That's just not true. That's a fake narrative, but one that you buy into because you suffer from Trump delusional syndrome. You can't think for yourself, Bill Morehouse. I feel for you. I really do. You need to be able to think for yourself. I mean, like, use your eyes, watch something, and form a normal, logical conclusion. But I don't think you can do that because you suffer from TDS.
Bill Morehouse replied, by the way, I'm in Florida. Now out here, we don't interfere with ICE. We're happy to see them because they're getting rid of the bad guys.
You barely see them. You barely see them. You're loaded with illegal immigrants in Miami and in Florida. You barely see them because they're only targeting blue cities, big blue cities. Like Minneapolis isn't that big, but yeah, Texas is in the same boat. Believe me, let me tell you something. You know how under 2% of the illegal aliens, the illegal immigrants, are in Minneapolis. Their numbers are under 2%, one of the lowest in the country. Why are we there? Well, the letter came out recently from the Trump administration that said if you just turn over your voting records to us, ICE will leave. So basically saying we're there. The only reason we're there is not because you have this huge immigration problem. We're there because we want the voting records for the upcoming midterms. And I guess you think that's okay, Bill. And, oh, by the way, Bill, you also were the one that said when they were breaking into the Capitol building and Mitch McConnell was hiding under the desk, along with every other member of Congress, as they were interfering with the due process, the proper democratic process of electing a president. You said they were peaceful, and it was wrong. It was wrong to put them in jail. But these people, we were okay to kill them because they're interfering. They're in the way, or they're blowing their whistle. Give me a freaking break. That's not a liberal concept, as I'm reading stuff on YouTube. That's not liberal. It's American.
Yeah, I don't know if what I've seen.
Give me a break. A liberal. I'm saying if there's a rapist, a murderer, a drug dealer, first of all, those people should be put in jail anyway. But if we have allowed you to come into this country, whether legally or illegally, and you're raping women, you're selling drugs, you're killing people, you're robbing banks, get the hell out. Those people should be shipped out of the country. You are no longer welcome here. That is my belief. But some guy who's been working here for 30 years and has a family, but the paperwork never went through or it expired, and the government kept saying, kicking the can down the road, we'll get this fixed. Those are the people that are being ripped out of their homes. That's what's making people protest in Minneapolis. Not the fact that murderers and rapists, that's just rhetoric coming from the government that you can't believe because they offer no proof. There's no judge's order that issues even a search warrant for this. It's un-American. It's absolutely un-American. It is not liberal. It's not conservative. It's un-American.
I don't know if I've seen anything this is my 2 cents if anybody cares. I don't know if I've seen anything in the 2 shootings that justify the shootings.
Well, no, they got in the way. They interfered. So we're going to shoot you. What the F is wrong with you people? Are you okay with this? Because if you are not an American. You do not believe in our way of government. We're losing the way that what America used to be. We're the laughing stock of the world right now, and you're okay with it. You're okay with it, Bill, because your 401k, every once in a while it takes a really sharp dip, but other than that, your wealth means everything, and that's all that matters to you, Bill. Give me a freaking break.
Roger said Bill is all fired up today, and Dave says, good morning, Dave. He says, tell Bill I said you go, Bill. And I don't know which one he's talking about.
Well, it's certainly not Bill Morehouse.
I don't know if he means you or Bill Morehouse, but 2 Bills.
We'll talk more about it as we go on. But I'm sorry, I'm not willing. I could, you know what, well, listen, your audience, much of your audience is believing this way. Why would you're hurting ratings. I could give to, I don't care. There comes a certain point where you have to look yourself in the mirror and say what is right and decent and human and American. This is not the America that I grew up in. I just don't get it. Fran, go ahead. Tell me what you think.
Oh, geez. About time you let me have a word in here.
Well, I tried, and you didn't respond.
Anybody listening? Again, can I talk, or
Yep.
you going to interrupt me?
Let me interrupt you right now, Fran. I asked you to talk 5 minutes ago, and you didn't say anything. I don't know what happened. But go ahead, Fran. What do you have to say?
It must have been your problem, then. I'm more than willing to talk. And first of all, you could tell, if anybody listening, who the delusional one is. And I can't believe you can call that peaceful protest. How about you put a uniform on like those men? And don't forget, they have families they need to go home to deal with this bullshit. Ice being thrown at them, no pun intended. All kinds of bricks and shit thrown at them. How about you?
Fran, you can make your point on the air. You can't swear, though.
Go look at your
That's
mirror.
Twice now.
You can't come up here and swear. I can't.
I understand it's an emotion.
There
People
is
get upset,
an FCC commissioner
you
that's
gotta
currently really enforcing the rules, and God forbid we don't want to be fined. You want to call back and by the way, Fran is the same guy that says what happened on January 6th didn't happen. Trump delusional syndrome. That's what it is. You're delusional. Anything that happens is A-OK. Even shooting somebody for videotaping. He had a freaking cell phone in his hand. You think that's okay? That's perfectly fine. You can talk about ICE family and their family and all of that. That's fine. I certainly, police officers, they put their lives on the line every single day, and we appreciate it. But it still doesn't give you carte blanche rights to go shoot someone that is peacefully protesting or simply videotaping. I don't care what he was doing. He was in the road. Oh, all right. Well, let's shoot him. What are you saying? What do we look like around the rest of the world here? It's just terrible.
Is Fran still on the line?
No, I dumped him. I had to dump him twice.
Yeah, Fran, you
3
can't
times
swear.
you're gone. You want to call back?
Call up and swear.
And control yourself, then feel free. I'll take your call. Let me switch gears.
Okay.
Because I have Ray on the line.
We go back to the comments. Okay, is this Ray Sajak?
I'll go back to the comments, but we have Ray, who's already booked here. I'm sorry, Ray, to bring you in during this
no worries.
wintry front that's making its way through. All right, so we didn't get the 2 feet. We got about a foot of snow, but this was a big storm.
Yeah, it is. Covering a lot of real estate. For some in the south, worked out better than others. Not as widespread as I anticipated for ice, but here out through the Mohawk Valley and into the Adirondacks, it was a general around 6 to 10, 12 inches of snow, really depending on where you are. And that's the synoptic snow. Now it's going to blow around, drift around. You'll have some spots and maybe some reduced visibilities at times. Although the sun will come out, going to stay cold. It's going to stay cold for quite some time with the lake effect snow getting going again. Now, Oneida County is not in the lake effect snow warning. Jefferson, Lewis counties, where there's already probably 3 to 5 feet of snow on the ground, or there may be close to that, even on into Oswego counties. That's where they get some of the heaviest snow. Won't be surprised if we get some type of advisory, but winter's here, and Bill, looks like winter's here to stay with snow showers today, tonight, tomorrow, Wednesday, and then more cold air coming in late week. Overnight lows will go down, even here, down below zero.
You know, you did just say ice.
I did.
Yeah, sorry. It's the weather. It's the weather ice. You slipped right through there. Slipped right through that. Listen, I wanted to ask you, in the forecast you say synoptic snow.
Right.
I don't know what that is. What is synoptic snow?
Well, I was hoping that would get your attention, Bill. It's just for you. But synoptic snow is more snow. It's more associated with an area of low pressure. Let me put it to you this way. I don't call lake effect snow a synoptic event. I guess maybe you can make a stretch that it is. It's non-lake effect snow where you got a storm like the low going off the coast right now with more widespread snow across a greater region. That's kind of how I define it. Either way, that event's winding down now. We'll get the lake snow going, especially in the North Country, where they could see another foot or two, especially in Oswego and Lewis counties too.
Well, listen, I mean, we did not get the 2 feet of snow, but a foot of snow is, and the other.
Well, we didn't get it yet.
Yeah,
the
other part of this is I think it was not your 3 or 4 inches an hour, 2 or 3 inches an hour, where the snowplows couldn't keep up. They really were able to keep track of this, and our roads are in really good shape today.
Yeah, manageable. Anytime you get snow that comes at an inch or less per hour, usually the plows can keep up with it. Downstate, you get down into the southern tier, Hudson Valley, my old stomping grounds, anywhere from 12 to up to 20 inches of snow. New York City, 11.4. Didn't make the top 25 for snowstorms for them, but still an impactful event there. And more snow, heavy snow off the east coast of the U.S. around Boston. Some ocean effect snowfall this morning, maybe another couple of inches there.
And then before places like New York City, they really struggle with 3 or 4 inches of snow. It can certainly wreak havoc. And then down south, they got hit hard with a lot of ice. And again, they're just not prepared to handle it like we are up here.
Yeah, and it wasn't as widespread, but there was a line from about Oxford to central Tennessee that got hit hard with about an inch of ice, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for anywhere, you put an inch of ice on trees and power lines, power's out, and they're going to be out for some time, maybe a couple of weeks in parts of the southern U.S. that got hit hardest by the ice.
And then finally, you were up here with your snowmobile, and what were the conditions like? Did you get enough snow last weekend?
Plenty of snow. Conditions were very good to excellent, and believe it or not, heading back up in the middle of February.
My guess is the snow will still be here. We have some cold temperatures on the way. Yeah, it's wintertime. All right, good stuff, Ray. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right, Ray Stajic with the Weather Channel.
That's too bad. I was going to mention to Ray, we talked to Joe Load on Friday, and he's doing the Boonville Snow Festival. They get the sleds up there, and they do races on the track at the Boonville Oneida County Fairgrounds, and it's the Adirondack Cup Ice Oval Snowmobile Racing. And again, it's happening this coming weekend.
Is the event that back in the 70s when Jimmy Carter was president.
Yes.
Billy Carter came up, he got drunk, stole a police car, and ended up getting arrested. They kind of covered up the whole arrest because the Democratic administration in Utica wanted to protect Jimmy Carter. So that really never hit the news, but it happened up here.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Some additional comments.
Yeah, we have some more comments. Let's see here. Let me
Listen,
go.
I'm perfectly. I understand that police officers, ICE, these, even though they're getting a $50,000 stipend just to take the job, I get it. I have an ICE member in our family that certainly they put their lives on the line, but that we have to hold police that have guns that are there to police neighborhoods or whatever ICE is doing. They have to be held to a higher standard. You cannot. Well, they're protesting. They shouldn't be out there protesting. They don't deserve to get shot and killed.
So
there's no scenario in what we saw in both of those videos, the woman who died and this guy who died. There's no scenario with your local police department that they would have been shot and killed. I just don't see it. Police they are able to de-escalate situations. They are community police officers. They deal with it every single day. And to say, well, they shouldn't have been out there, so that justifies killing them? I mean, what do we want to be as a country here?
Yeah, Bill, I think that's a great point, and I agree with you. I will say this. I do think some of the protesters should be arrested. I don't know. I wonder where the line is.
If you're interfering with what they're doing, whether you agree with it or not, blowing a whistle is not worthy of arresting them. But if you're interfering
with the vehicles and stuff,
if you're interfering, you should be arrested. You shouldn't be shot and killed. That's my point. And I don't know in any scenario where any decent human being, I'm sorry, could look in the mirror and say, yeah, I'm okay with them being shot and killed. That guy who took care of veterans, for God's sakes, didn't believe in it. He had people that he was friends with that were being taken, that were not murderers, rapists, and criminals. And he's exercising his constitutional right to protest. He did not interfere. And his videotaping, all he did was go in and try to help a woman that just got pushed over and sprayed in the face.
Even if he did interfere, I don't know that shooting him, it didn't rise to that level by any means. And people are talking about the fact that he had a weapon, he had a gun on him, he was a concealed permit.
Which do we want? Do we have the right to carry a weapon concealed? Yeah, if you have a permit, do you have the right or do you not have the right? Which is it?
Usually the right in this country is screaming on behalf of the Second Amendment right to carry.
Yesterday, the head of ICE in Minneapolis came out and said that, well, you do not have the right to bring a concealed weapon to a protest. That's not true. Yeah. In fact, the NRA came out and denounced that statement and said you are absolutely incorrect. Responsible concealed permit gun owners have the right to bring to protect themselves, or who knows, maybe protecting somebody else, or maybe somebody ready to shoot everybody in the crowd. By having someone there with a gun, the belief has been at least there's someone there that can help protect people or protect themselves.
So I want to.
Is it the best thing in the world to bring a concealed weapon to that protest? Maybe not. Certainly, when you look in hindsight right now, I guess it isn't. But he had the right to do it.
Yeah, and he didn't even have the gun on him, allegedly.
Never grabbed the gun. Never. The gun was taken away before he was shot.
All right, so I want to get to this point here. This is from Lance. He says, Billy Maddow back in town. Be careful or failure will cancel his show.
But listen, I don't understand how you can see this.
He knows it gets to you.
I just don't understand how you can see this as a liberal stance. I want to reiterate what I've said 1,000 times. If you're in this country as our guest and you are robbing banks, shoplifting, beating your wife, beating your girlfriend, raping children, raping women, if you're breaking the law, I don't care what it is, how severe it is, if you're breaking the law and you are here as a guest, you should be deported. Well, I'm all for it. You should be deported. But we're taking people who were working on farms and working in hotels, and we're going after certain cities. We're not going after cities in Texas that rely on those illegal immigrants to build homes and to build housing. The same thing in Florida for all of the hotels. We're not going after those people, but we're targeting places like Minneapolis. That in itself is wrong. But
So,
to say that by that guy protesting that it's justifiable to shoot and kill him, who are we? Joe Rogan described it as it looks like Gestapo. I mean, Joe Rogan is probably responsible for a lot of independent young men voting for Donald Trump, and he's losing that crowd. This is not the way you're going to win a midterm.
Trump is losing that crowd.
Trump is
Rogan.
losing that crowd. And this is not the way you're going to win the midterms. This is not the way you will win the mid. This is helping Democrats. I don't understand why people can't see this politically. You are helping Democrats right now win in November.
100%. 100%.
Let me break and we'll take.
Well,
more
can I
on
just
it.
finish his
Yeah,
comment here?
sorry,
Because
sorry.
he talks about Jimmy Fallon. He said, I listened to his show for the first time last week. Totally opposite views of the host on this show. And I just want to make this point. And you guys are friends, and you get along, and you can have conversations about things. That's what this country is about.
Listen to me. Jimmy's on in like 5 minutes.
Oh, he's coming on this morning.
I'm going to bring him on
I
this
didn't even
morning.
know that.
Let's bring him on and
I should check the
and
sheets.
listen. I have no
Yes, he is.
problem telling Jimmy how I feel. I love Jimmy Fallon. He's a good man. I think he's entertaining. It was Manaski's choice. We're bringing him up here. He's here next week, and he'll be on the radio in a second.
Okay.
People can have differing opinions, and they can still be okay with it. But I just can't. Listen, my kids go out and decide they want to go to a protest. I'm going to tell them don't do it, and be respectful. And if somebody tells you to do A, B, and C, do it. If authorities tell you that, don't resist. I mean, these are things that you tell your kids because you don't want them to make a mistake and have something terrible happen. But that guy was videotaping. He was trying to help a woman up that just was sprayed in the face with pepper spray. That may have been a really annoying woman. She's still a woman. And I don't know how you brought up your kids, but I was brought up, and I brought up my kids. If a guy knocks a woman over, for God's sakes, at least try to help her onto her feet. And that's what he got shot for. And we're okay with that. Well, he shouldn't have been there. He's on the wrong side of the political argument.
This gets into
It's okay to shoot him? No, it doesn't fit the crime. Shooting and killing him doesn't work here. Well, that police officer, that ICE agent, this would not happen this would not happen in Utica. This would not happen in Rome.
I still don't think he deserved being shot. But, if someone's in an interaction with law enforcement, even though if it's a woman, I don't know if you should run over and help him up.
He was, if you watch the
didn't
video. Have you
deserve to
seen
be
the
shot,
video?
though.
Have you seen the video?
I have, yeah.
I mean, he's right there. He tried to lift her up. Then and they came to him. They came to her. They came from the street to them. It's not like they were charging the ICE agents at that point.
I also think part of the equation here, and this is not an excuse for either side, but I do think part of the equation, we've kind of touched on it a little bit. You brought this up last week, too, that while these are federal law enforcement agents, they are not cops. They do not have the level of training that a street cop has.
They do not.
They don't have as thick a skin as a street cop has, and has these constant interactions with people.
Well, they don't have to. They don't have to be there.
Things,
they don't have to be there tomorrow to face the neighborhood that they were just in. I mean, that's why community policing works. I'm sorry, I cannot be for this. It does not make me some liberal Rachel Maddow, Lance, you piece of garbage.
And then
it just doesn't. It just isn't. It's not the America that we all work so hard to create.
We're going to take a break, reset, right, for Jimmy. Smitty's
yeah.
going to get mad at us over our spot load here.
Let me do it.
Just quickly, Utica comment, Lenny Haminaho was called up to New Jersey. He scored his first NHL NHL goal on Friday night against Vancouver in the Devils' 5-3 victory. He also had an assist in the game prior to being called up. Lenny was leading the Comets with 21 points this season. So a sports note there.
And Fred, thank you for the pronouncer.
Thank you, Fred. I do appreciate that. And John in Marcy says, was busy last week, didn't get a chance to chime in on Bills Broncos. Something Manaski might appreciate if Brandon Cooks had the same focus and intensity to hold on to that ball as David Tyree did with one arm on a helmet. The Bills would be playing.
Listen,
for a Super Bowl.
We can whine all we want about the referees. We never should have been in a position where the referee, a bad referee call would have made a difference in that game. The Bills did not play well. Josh Allen did not play well. It shouldn't have come down to that in the first place.
Lance says it happened in Utica. Didn't a kid just get shot by a cop last year, which is even worse?
In that case, the kid was grabbing for his gun.
Yes, and
that's different.
The Attorney General's office investigated, and
he was grabbing for his gun. And it's a horrible thing that a 13-year-old or 12-year-old got shot and killed.
It's terrible.
But I support police in that. You can't. He was grabbing for the gun. They have no choice but to stop that. Otherwise, they're going to get shot, or somebody in the crowd is going to get shot. That is not what happened here. It is not what happened to the good woman. I'm not calling her good. That was her last name. That was not what happened to her 2 weeks ago. Cordelia, I'll give you the last word on this right now.
Well, I'm very upset what I see in Minneapolis. I went to school out there, and there was always a picture-perfect, respectable area. And when I see them on Huntington Ave, all where I used to go shopping and everything, it just breaks my heart because this should never have been. This should never have been.
Well, I do think this is on the governor there to he's got to work. This is happening, and they have to work with ICE here. And the fact that there's 3,000 agents, there aren't that many illegal immigrants in Minneapolis. We don't need 3,000 agents there. But the state government should be working with the federal government, if for no other reason than to protect the people that are the citizens they're supposed to protect. But they are not the blame for what occurred. That shooting shouldn't have happened on Saturday.
Well, I think it all comes down to showtime. Who's got the better group? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? We did that. It's all the ego stuff that gets in the way. You know what I mean?
Right. All right, Cordelia. I didn't know you were from Minneapolis.
No, I went to school.
Went to school there. Got it. All right.
Okay, then.
All right. Thank you, Cordelia.
God bless everybody.
All right.
God
I want
bless
to
you.
bring in one more on this. Frank Policelli, who's going to call me Rachel Maddow liberal.
No, he's
Winnie.
not. He's
and
he's going to say it's
no. He's going to
Third
be
Reich.
he's going to be absolutely with me. Frank Policelli. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill. I just want to say what the great philosopher David Hume once said, which is reason is the handmaiden of self-interest. So you could rationalize whatever your self-interest is, regardless of what the facts are.
Right.
This happens all the time in my business. You're going to get people that are going to say, my son could have never shot that guy, even though there's videotape of the guy shooting him.
Yeah. Right.
So these are the people you're dealing with here. So they're never going to agree because their self-interest is going to be rationalized by what they really want to believe to be true.
Now, that's a good point. And listen, we're not in the business of changing people's minds. I am changing nobody's mind, but I have an opinion, and I'm going to give it. So if you're going to yell at me,
That's not what you're here for.
If you're going to yell at me about my opinion, and you don't expect you're going to change my mind, I accept the fact that I'm not changing your mind. But don't think you're going to change my mind. I saw it with my own two eyes. And
You're going to believe your lying eyes?
Apparently I am. But Frank, do you agree though that it's time for the governor of Minnesota they're going to have to work with ICE? they're there. You got to work with them to try to protect the people of Minneapolis.
I don't know the politics of it all. I mean, I deal with the legal aspects of it. I mean, the way it sounds like this is what jurors argue about. You're going to get some jurors that are going to want to follow the law and do what the judge says, whether they like it or not. And then you're going to get some jurors that don't care. They're going to go follow their emotions.
Should the guy have died? Should he have been shot and killed?
Of course not.
All right.
And that would be the instructions that the judge gives the jury on what we call excessive force. So the law is pretty clear that you can't shoot somebody under those circumstances. And you got a video that shows that. But then you've got some people that'll look at that video and still say that the cop was justified. I mean, that's what I'm talking about when I say reason is the handmaiden of self-interest.
It's a crazy world we're in right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Frank. Thank you. We appreciate it.
All right. You're
Frank,
welcome.
defense attorney, by the way. Defense attorney Frank Policelli.
Tom in Holland Patton, he says, Bill, do you remember the boy who was shot in Utica? Yes, we did just address that.
Talked about it.
Vicky.
And again, if this guy yesterday or Saturday reached Davey, I'm sorry.
He's going to have a stroke.
I'm sorry. If this guy
tried 10 minutes ago to get us out.
If this guy yesterday, Saturday, reached to grab his gun, he should have been shot and killed. That to me would be justifiable by police. But he didn't do that. Well, he shouldn't have been there. It's not justifiable. It doesn't justify shooting and killing him. And Frank is right. I'm not here to change anybody's mind, but damn it, don't think you're going to change mine.
2 comments. Vicky in beautiful downtown Stittsville, and I used to deliver to downtown Stittsville, and I'll tell you, it is beautiful out there. She says, I do not believe our government, ICE, is targeting blue states. She says, our government is targeting white states, places where it's easier to single out people who look different than the majority. That's Vicky's opinion.
Okay.
Deb says, why don't you let the investigation be completed before you condemn the officers who were doing their job?
Well, that's a wonderful comment, Deb. And it would have been nice if our government did the same. But they immediately called him a paid agitator, that he got what he that he got what he deserved. He shouldn't have been there. That's the government saying that. I watched 5 different versions of videos. I am no expert, but I can see when I can form a conclusion. And based on the videos that I saw and everybody else saw, including, I believe, 10 members of Congress who are Republican today that are asking for ICE to come in and answer questions about what occurred. I saw what I saw. But if you're asking for the public to not form a conclusion, then our government should not form a conclusion. And they immediately did within minutes. Any further?
From what I'm seeing, we're late for a break, and we should take it now.
Do you want me to take Jimmy first? I'm going to take him first.
If Davey wasn't best friends with Jimmy Fela, he would tell you to take the break first.
The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills
I was standing up for you, Smitty.
Is accepting new patients, and they've added a new doctor. Dr. Cheryl Mattern is now with the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. And here's something we can all agree on. I go there, and they do this thing called the osteopathic manipulation, OMT is what it's called. And I feel like I could argue with the best of them after I leave there. I feel so amazing. It's OMT, osteopathic manipulation treatment. But if you're in need of a new family doctor, a second opinion, et cetera, it's the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. Dr. Kosminski for acupuncture. And then, of course, Dr. Shemaleski, Dr. Zielinski, and Dr. Mattern, all there under one roof at the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. Call 315-507-4751. On the line right now is our man, Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy, good morning.
How about it?
Well, I'm being screamed and yelled at, and they're saying, even Jimmy thinks you're an idiot. And obviously, we're talking about the shooting over the weekend. Listen, it's not. This isn't. I want to talk to you about funny stuff. But at the end of the day, that guy shouldn't have been shot and killed over the weekend. Should he have been there protesting? He has the right to do it. Probably not the most well-advised thing for somebody to do and bring a gun, even though you have a concealed permit. But at the end of the day, he shouldn't have been shot and killed.
Yeah, I mean, but if you were going to really rewind it, like it's the end of the day when the local sanctuary mayor and governor decided not to cooperate with ICE, whatever day that was. Because
I agree with that. I said that earlier. I mean, it's
be doing this in
time.
jails.
It's time for the governor to say they're coming here. It's inevitable. You look at the reality. They are here. We need to make sure the Minneapolis Police Department is working with ICE. And I'm telling you, that's what happens in our local police departments here. Whether they agree or disagree with what's going on, it is in the best interest of the public to work with the federal agency, whether you like the fact that they're there or not. You work with them so that something like this doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's what it all comes back to, is like if you look around the country, you've had other states that literally, I mean, there are 20 states that have deported or apprehended through ICE 10,000 people more than Minneapolis. And the only place these fatalities and confrontations are happening is in Minneapolis because they're encouraging it. Okay, it's a twofold situation. They have a real fraud problem. I'm not saying the governor's going to jail, but I'm saying he's not running for re-election because he knows the fraud problem's a liability. And I think every day that we spend fighting over ICE is a day that their fraud problem gets, I don't want to say negated, but it looks a little more retaliatory because they know prosecutions are coming. They're about to indict more people for fraud, and they prefer the country looked at it as that was some type of retaliation for obstructing ICE. So there's a lot of strategy here, but none of it involves you, me, our kids, or anybody else. And that's unfortunately the big problem, is like, if you really looked at it this way, okay, nobody listening right now is going to tell their kid to show up to one of these events and get in a fight with the cops.
You're going to say the opposite. You're going to say, don't go. If you're going to avoid it, don't go. I mean, I've had that conversation with my own kids. Stay away from this stuff.
Yeah, and that's like, it sucks that these things went down, but they're so entirely preventable. And I think that is like the bigger frustration for me. It's like, you know, they're encouraging something out there that's very unique to their state. And this is the way the Democrats, this is true. Okay, I promise it's true. When Trump is in office, when a Republican is in office, the Democrats go out in the streets and cause chaos. They want enough people to throw their hands up in disgust and go, yeah, enough of this already. This is crazy already. We got to get rid of this Trump guy. Okay, so you're essentially, they're starting a fire and they're trying to get rewarded for putting it out, meaning they're out there. Okay, this is not an issue if ICE is locking people up in jails. And the truth is, they're still getting locked up. They're still apprehending whoever the hell they want to apprehend. So to your earlier point, it's not like they're stopping anything. They're just creating chaos because it makes their side look more sympathetic, and the average person doesn't realize they're causing the chaos. They're absolutely causing the chaos. So I feel for everybody involved, but more so than anybody, the people getting used. I mean, ICE is at least getting paid to be there, and there's a lot of people getting paid to be there on the left, but I don't know that they're getting a pension and benefits and everything else.
Well, I'm going to agree with some of what you say, but not all of it. And you know, this is one of those. Where does this show up in a comedy show? It doesn't.
Oh, yes, it does. Don't you dare! Of course, it does. Are you kidding me?
Oh, you're going to be all over it.
Yeah, I just met Tom Homan. He was the nicest guy in the world. He gave everybody. I'm not kidding. He gave everybody on my staff a picture, and
I thought you were going to say 10 grand.
No,
it's not 10 grand. It's 50 grand.
Well, he's got 5 members on his staff.
That's a good point.
My guys would have taken that. Of course they would have. Yeah, everybody got a picture, and he gave 2 of the janitors a free plane ticket back to Caracas, which was nice. So yeah, generous guy.
Tell me about the comedian that you're bringing with you. She is, I think she's
fantastic.
From the Valley here. She is. Carney, right? Her last name is Carney.
Come on, Kristen Carney. And her dad is a fan. and lives up there in Utica. And she came.
Well,
to
he was a fan.
He listens to the show, and she came to a taping of my TV show and told me that. She's like, "Oh, I saw you going to Utica. My dad's up there. He loves you." I was like, "Come on, open the show. What are we doing here? The more time you spend on stage, the less time I had to spend dealing with Keeler and his woke nonsense."
That's
I'm like,
terrible.
"Get out
Yes,
there." I'm kidding. You stop it.
By
But we're
Rachel
trying to
Maddow. Yeah. So she's on the New York City circuit, which is a tough comedy circuit to be on.
Yeah, it is. This is the thing, and I always explain the difference to people this way. New York has the talented comedians. California has the good-looking comedians. Meaning half of the comics in California are comics because their acting agent told them to go learn comedy.
Yeah.
So you've got these gorgeous supermodels that aren't particularly funny, whereas New York, there's so many heavy-hitting comics that you really got to earn your stage time. And if you're working here in the city, like you are playing varsity, you're doing varsity comedy,
right?
But hang on though, she's hot.
I'm sure
she's
but,
super good looking.
No, I don't doubt it. I'm in this other place right now though, where I'm surrounded by news babes 24 hours a day, so you don't even notice.
Yeah.
You know, they're all just like weird sisters who drink too much. But they look good. To the untrained eye, every one of my friends shows up at Fox and is like, "Oh my God!" And I'm like, "Vinny, you can't be tipping these women. I work with them. You have to reel it in a little. You're embarrassing me."
So it is I don't know how you do that in the building, but it is, you are surrounded by them. But she is by no means. Sometimes you get the comics in New York City, and everybody just dresses in black pants and combat boots, and you're like, eh. But this is she's quite attractive.
I just Googled her because I wasn't familiar with her.
She could be in Hollywood if she had an acting job and an agent.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, she's more likely to land in Hollywood than she is spitting in the face of an ICE officer. If you're trying to gauge. Because that's how the hotness scale works now, okay? If you're on the other side of it, you might be in the street, as you said, with combat boots, shoving a federal agent, which is not a good place to be.
Well, certainly if she was in Minneapolis, right? That's where she would. That's where she would be. And the other part is, if you are a Democrat, and despite what Bill Morehouse believes. I get yelled at more by Democrats just for the mere fact that we're on a station that has Fox and we do support police. Your show, you could be a Democrat and still enjoy your show. I mean, you are an equal opportunity offender.
That's the goal. I mean, if you watch my TV show, we spend at least 5 minutes making fun of the president every week. I mean, think about that. He gave me a shout out last week on Twitter. Trump tweeted about my show after watching a monologue that made fun of him and how he interacts with his wife and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of comedy, is that everybody wants to laugh. Comedy and music are the same thing. You want to hear a good song. You want to hear a good joke. And you're not doing it right if you're alienating people. You know what I'm saying? You're doing it right if anyone can laugh, whether they agree or disagree. And it's not that I make a lot of points. You don't really have to agree with me or disagree with me. You just kind of have to laugh because I'm a ridiculous person, And what's interesting about what I'm doing, especially when we're up there at the Capitol Theater, is you see me live. So much of it is me just explaining what it really is like to work in mass media with all these other rich and famous people and what it's like behind the scenes and how you learn to see the world differently. And it's me giving you our side of this. When I say our side of this, I don't mean Fox's side of it. I mean you, me, Manaski, Davey, everybody who is not traditionally in this circle of power that I happen to wind up in media. I'm not supposed to be there. As I tell you this all the time, Jesse Waters looks like a TV star. I look like I installed your TV, okay? And I'm sitting there from that vantage point, kind of radioing back to the outside world what's really going on. And you don't have to be a part of it. You don't have to agree with it to enjoy it.
Are you adding something? Oh,
me?
No, I'm not talking about you.
I'm sorry.
But I do have now Keeler is sucking Jimmy's ass right now. No. I listen. What we're displaying is the fact that two people cannot necessarily agree and still get along. That is still possible in America today. It's not common anymore, but it's possible.
Yeah, and listen, I mean, what we're really displaying is I'm a former cab driver who's used to dealing with people who are off their meds. And
are you describing me as somebody who's off my meds? Is that
kidding, I'm kidding.
Is that where you're going?
Those tickets are going faster now. They are. They are.
Guys, we're gonna actually, instead of comedy, we're gonna have a dunk tank, and Keeler's just gonna give you opinions on hot topics. And we're going to throw the ball and dunk him on stage. It'll be great. Come on.
I'm all for it. If it makes money, we're all for it. And by the way, $1 from every ticket sold goes to Real Men Get Tested for Cancer, which is a great cause that is near and dear to my heart, and more near and dear than I want it to be, but it is. And tickets go to romecapital.com for tickets, and there's some really good seats still left. But it starts at $38. Great show, and it is Super Bowl weekend that you're coming up here. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, I mean, well, because depending on how the game goes, I might be in hiding come Sunday night from the bookie.
Yeah.
So this is a strategic visit. It's half comedy, it's half survival.
Jimmy Fallon, we look forward to it. We'll talk again before you come up here. Thank you.
Rock and roll, fellas. Take care.
Right. Jimmy will be on today from noon until 3. And, Davey, could we do a pair of tickets to see Jimmy? Because we didn't give away a pair earlier. So make it caller number what here? What do you want?
Caller 5.
Fifth caller. Caller number 5 at 315-736-0186 right now.
Utica and the Mohawk Valley Mattress Express's President's Day sale is on from upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer. No one else in New York State has all the brands under one roof that we do. And right now, save up to $1,350 on names like Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy, Purple, Puffy, the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort, Posh & Lavish, Therapeutic, Simmons Beauty Rest, Black Serta, iComfort, Avocado, and more. A full line of spa-grade massage chairs take up to 5 years.